What's up, Firesiders? Welcome back to another episode of the Fireside Yarns with our good friends Vinno, the Irish Dave, and myself, Reese. How the fuck we going today, boys? How are we this week, Vinno?
I'm good, man. I am really good this week. It's
really good.
The rain has stopped for fucking a couple of days, which is a nice change. So
you know what? Today was an absolute cracker.
Wasn't it?
Absolute cracker.
It was a dangerous day to be a tin.
yeah. What about you, Big Davey G? How are you, brother?
Nothing. Always good to come into the week after a good UFC fight. So I'm ready to go.
Today, I did not see it.
Man.
I was at work. But give us a rundown. Did you watch it?
Itching for this.
Yeah. 269. I've been waiting for this for a while now. It's the main event was for the 155-pound belt. Charles Oliveira was the champion, but Dustin was going up there to have his second shot at the title, and he was the favourite to win, but the whole night was kind of full of surprises. So just spoilers, everybody. But Dustin, he tapped out in the second round. Oliveira is just a beast. He weathered that first round from Dustin. Just great stuff. Oliveira, he's a Brazilian fella. Like, I've been watching some of the stuff from way back. Like, he's just a veteran in the sport, and he finally got a chance to be champion, and that was his first defense there. This guy grew up, like, you know, in Brazil, they drinking puddle water, like, they showed like, when you look back in their hometown, what is in the favelas, what his parents' home was like, and just great to see him on top. But then Brazil wasn't so lucky in the co-main event. Amanda Nunes, the GOAT, she's pretty much classed as the best female fighter of all time. She was 135 pound, 145 pound champ consecutively. And at the same time, like, she lost, she got knocked out. I don't know, I think there's going to be something behind it, like fucking knocked out. Like, she got tired in there, she was eating 1-2s, and it was like she just had nothing to answer for that, and she got finished. It was the last thing people thought was going to happen, the Lioness. And then now you got a new champion, Juliana Pena.
Just
fantastic.
On that, I saw some of the footage of the crowd, and just seeing the shocked faces, man, like the reaction from everybody. They did not see it coming.
She was some cool dude. It was considered easy money. Some dude put 300k on Amanda Nunes because it was like, look, you don't win much, but it's a sure bet, you know. Amanda Nunes by knockout. She got knocked out by knockout.
Wow.
No, she's the fourth. Look, she's been around for a while, Juliana Pena. She had to take time off from big injuries, LCA, and fucking leg shit. And then she had a baby, and it was just lots of stuff. But she came back up and she won the title, so it's just fantastic. Another bantamweight champion. She might be good to take on Shevchenko at 25 as well, she said. So be good to see that. But again, down the card, some great fights too. O'Malley, he's an up and comer. He had another good win.
And an Australian on there too.
Taito Ivasa. Yeah. Yeah, man, he got another knockout under his belt. He's got the shoey going. What's great about him is that there's big fanship behind him.
Like, there's big hype all over the world.
Oh man, well, his last fight he knocked out Greg Hardy, who was an ex-NFL player who kind of got kind of kicked out of the league for beating his wife or some shit like that. But he ended up in the UFC, and everyone kind of hates him. And Taito Ivasa went in there and knocked him out. Yeah, man, but after it was like, you put your hands on a woman and all. Oh man, but he's an Eshe guy. He's from the area. He's got FTA tattooed on him. Yeah, he played for the Roosters. He's an Indigenous guy. He's waving the flag, but he's also a Samoan heritage as well. Oh, he's just a great character.
Would you just take like extra privilege in knocking some cunt out that fucking bashed a woman though? Like,
oh yeah, Greg Hardy's.
It'd be so satisfying just go and cop it.
Yeah,
in front of everybody.
In front of the world, just so everyone knows, and just beating the fuck out of that piece.
Well, no one feels bad. You know what I mean? It can be a highlight reel. It was he fucked his eye socket up and all. But he's fighting fella now is number 11. So it's good to see him. He might crack top 10 is next. He might have that opportunity next time. But he's still only young in the game. I'm looking forward to it. He's got great hype behind him as well, and a great media storm, and great for Australia as well. But a little bit up the card, Kai Kara France, he's a Kiwi, and he fucking went in there and he put a highlight reel knockout on Cody Garbrandt, who's the former bantamweight champ, but he came down to 125. And fucking so Kai Kara France, he's another guy who's fighting now of that New Zealand team that's got Israel Adesanya, Dan Hooker. So they're beasts at the moment. So Australia, New Zealand's coming in now because he already got Alexander Volkanovski as champion now, featherweight, and he just fucking had another great performance against Ortega. So I don't know, it was a great card, very important. Of course, Dustin Poirier loses. So because his last fight was beating Conor, and there's all the Conor fans come out and all the Conor haters come out because it's a narrative. And
haters,
I love it. So obviously it's funny because Dustin was always like, oh, he lost because of karma and his leg broke because of karma. And now it's like, well, what about karma now, motherfucker? What's this karma that's let Conor McGregor be a two-weight world champion and you've never got the belt? Fucking bridesmaid Poirier. But we respect Dustin for having another shot at the lightweight belt once won by Conor McGregor. But it was not to be. Poor old Dustin, back to Louisiana swamps. But I'm only joking. I love Dustin Poirier, I do. I like being a Conor McGregor mega fan. So the memes have been coming because he got choked out too and he tapped. I wonder if he's important enough. Yeah.
All the big UFC events always seem to fall on my weekends at work, man. Like and I don't follow it strictly or anything. Like I enjoy watching it, but it's not like a sport that I'm right into and I follow. But I feel like it always just seems to fall on my weekends at work, so I never get to watch it. But I always hear talking about it.
That was the good thing about living with Smoke, man. We never missed a fight because he was just right on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he didn't get this one because I usually text him or he texts me after the big fight and say what you think. But I think he was at work or he missed it or something. But I'd like to talk to Smoke about it when he watches it and maybe have him on for another big card as well for a prediction one.
Absolutely.
And then a fucking a recap. That'd be a bit fun on Fireside Fights. If you want it, ask for it. I think that'd be a bit fun.
It would be fun.
But yeah, here, Reese, the good thing about, I think, MMA or any combat sport is that you can get hyped just for one fight, or you can come in and watch a fight. You don't have to. It's not necessarily like like teams. You know what I mean? Like you can get national about it if you want, but I can appreciate and I can follow someone from Brazil or Australia or Ireland or America or anywhere really, but except for Britain. But why not? Well, we just as an Irish person,
Jamaica,
we like to see them win and stuff. We like to see Britain lose, I should say, in stuff like sports and war, and
especially when it comes to rugby.
Oh man, well everyone hates them when it comes to rugby. They're just everyone loves to watch them lose. I'll go for France, I'll go for Argentina, I'll go for fucking whoever, you know what I mean?
I kind of like I know it's probably just mainly knowing boxing growing up as a kid and stuff, but like obviously everyone loves a good knockout, but obviously mixed martial arts is everything, every kind of fighting style or whatever. But yeah, it's always kind of more entertaining to see someone just get knocked the fuck out.
Oh sure.
Right.
Well, that's again the beauty of MMA, okay? Because you have those fighters. It's like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. It's like who will win? It was originally like the sumo versus the karate guy versus the boxer. But again, like I'm like that. I got into it kind of as a wrestling fan actually, because Ken Shamrock and all that shit. But I do appreciate the big knockouts that flash and all. But the jiu-jitsu scares the shit out of me, like and the wrestling, the idea of some man taking you down and getting on top of you and putting his hand on your mouth and fucking, you know what I mean?
It's like the superior fighting style, hey? Like it's really hard to beat.
Well, right? there's some people that are really good at stopping you from taking you down and then they knock you out.
Yeah.
It depends where you can dictate the fight to.
Yeah.
It all depends, where your strengths lie, and it's
some
definitely
people are takedown defense.
Yeah.
But as soon as someone takes them down, they're great off their backward jiu-jitsu and they'll just choke you out. So you might be a better wrestler than them, but they're better at jiu-jitsu than you. So what's the point in taking them down? So you might use your wrestling to put them up against the cage and rough them up and threaten to take down. Or it's really styles make fights. You can't just say this is the one way you've got to be, because fucking you've got to change every time you fucking fight somebody. Some weirdo.
Well, even like talking about Conor, you saw the transition and the changes he made after losing to Diaz and those sorts of fights where, he wasn't at their level, but he put in the training and the extra work to at least be able to defend against it. And that's the interesting thing about it, I suppose. It's such a dynamic sport, different avenues that you can go down. But yeah, whatever team you've got coaching you for that fight, I suppose, is where your strength's going to lie, isn't it?
Well, you brought up a great fight. The Conor, first of all, wasn't acclimated to go up to that weight class. So he just took Diaz on a couple of weeks' notice and gave him the weight. Walked in there and didn't do all the running training that he would usually do or the diet training that he usually do. And you go in and you're sluggish, so he doesn't have the endurance. And Nate Diaz is a fucking triathlete. So Conor boxed him up for 2 rounds, 2 rounds. And then all of a sudden gets tired and Diaz just takes over. Take him down. But yeah, what Conor did in that second fight was come in much better endurance, but he changed. He added leg kicks. He never does leg kicks. And he added them in because that's like Nate's kryptonite. The Diaz brothers just don't check leg kicks. They just let you kick them in the legs. They're rough. But you have to. You can't. Oh, man.
Man, you hear the sound and the impact and you can just feel it. Sometimes,
you know what else too, I think would be pretty wild is like how people stomp on your feet too. Like
foot stomps
would be so uncomfortable, man. Like
I should next
you
time
don't think of that sort of shit.
An asshole move,
man. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
they do that. They stomp feet up against 100%. The cage. Yeah.
But in a normal street fight, you'd never think to do something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, you never think to defend it either, because all of a sudden you're trying to hold someone. It's like I'm trying to stop his arms from fucking. So you got your underhooks or your overhooks, and then all of a sudden he starts stamping your feet, and you're like, "For fuck's sake!" Well, so then you have to move your feet, and he could use that as a way to bait you into to moving your foot, get you off balance, and take you down, or advance a position like fucking chess, and it's fucked. Fuck, man. Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Fuck them dudes. But yeah, it was good fight. Good fight. What you get up there on the weekend? Just get up there and gnarly?
I worked, bro.
Yeah. That's gnarly. That's gnarly.
I was at work on the fucking weekend. Actually, didn't you have the young one's birthday on the weekend?
I had, she's she's not even 5 yet. We just did a little party a couple of weeks early because 21st of December is rough. Yeah, so that weekend wouldn't have been fun. So yeah, we just tried some a bit early for to see if we could get people that wouldn't be able to get there that early.
And the Hicks man came down close too, right?
Oh, we got fucking Hicksy from fucking Stinger, so that was awesome. And he brought his daughters down, and yeah, that was great seeing them all play together. The little Hicks clan and fucking and Maisie, yeah, it was good. And obviously having Hicks there, he brought the sauce. The sauce boss came to town.
Oh man,
he came there rocking bottles.
Yeah. Sauce is the shit, dude.
It is the shit. Good. Hicks homemade, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
that is our sponsor.
He's in the wrong line of work. He needs that shit should be heaps bigger than. Man, that's tasty as fuck.
Yeah, man.
I've already smashed a good portion of that bottle, bro.
Did ya?
Yeah, man. I'm loving it.
I was drinking. The first time he gave a bottle to me, I was taking little shots of it. I was like, this is fucking... Because I couldn't believe it, because I'm a Liam Perrins dude. So Worcestershire sauce or Worcester sauce or Worcester sauce or Shire sauce or whatever people want to say. It's fucking all lovely Liam Perrins, and I've always hated any other sauce that tried to be like, oh, here's a Worcester sauce. I'm like, whatever. But his sauce is better. It just is.
So good, man.
And his barbecue sauce is fucking nice.
It's one of those sauces
I haven't tried a sweet chili yet.
It can go on anything. Like it's... You can have it on your bacon and
I had
eggs
it on chicken
your
last night, and it was delicious.
Yeah, man. Just
I've
adds
got
a whole
pizza,
nother...
mate. I'll do anything with it. Just whatever I can consume it with. The food is like the sauce now. It's like what can I fucking eat with Hicksy's fucking homemade? Yeah, man. He did. He came to town. It was funny. Actually, we were supposed to pick up extra chairs at Big W. We've got like 6 chairs supposed to pick up. So I was like, Hicksy, come on down with me. We got there, and it was about fucking 20-minute trip, 20-minute back, and we get there, and they only had 1 chair available, and they'd refunded us for us. So you see me and Hicksy going all this way with fucking for 1 chair is ridiculous. Didn't even need it. But fucking fun weekend. Had the Hickey down.
He's a gem of a bloke.
It was good.
He is a gem.
He is.
Good value.
Yeah, no, I was stuck at work as well, but on slightly different shifts from Reese. I did hear some funny shit on the weekend though, because just listening to the radio, you get, late night, you get all the weird talk shows and shit like that.
Party anthems and weird talk.
No, it was weird talk shows, man. There was a few that came up that were funny and conspiracy theory ones. Some that we've spoken about before while we have been sitting around the actual fire having a laugh. But one that was interesting, and I actually looked it up later on, was on the Library of Alexandria. Have you heard about that one?
No.
Yeah, it was destroyed. It was destroyed by Alexander the Great, wasn't it? Was it
No,
Alexander the
it
Great
was
who destroyed it, or the Greeks or Romans or some shit?
Yeah, Rome. It was a slow decline, they reckon.
In Egypt.
But yeah. But it's
They said
interesting when you have a look at.
Didn't they say the Nile ran red and black with blood and ink because they destroyed most of the
so
shit
many
inside of it?
texts. They reckon, there's some theories that, they had built a steam engine back then, and that knowledge was lost when the library was destroyed.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's quite interesting if you ever get the chance to have a look into it. But yeah, it was interesting following last week's episode. Some of the talking points that come from truck drivers and the like on night shift when they've got nothing else to do but call in. Because a few of the things that we were talking about in the last episode got brought up, and I couldn't help but laugh.
Like child abuse and.
I'm going to set that straight because I got hit up about this, right?
Did you really?
I got hit up about this.
I love that.
You should.
So I had to explain
the system. I would hope.
I had to explain what actually happened. So I'm going to explain.
Thank you, Firesiders, for having a cautious mind.
Because Reese was a witness to this, and in perfect Reese style, he's going to exaggerate it for a story. But
fuck off.
What was happening?
Oh, did we
Dave,
not give the story behind it?
No, he just called me.
Oh, okay, so we just gave the result.
You just labelled me. Yeah,
he gave us the backstory through all the things that he spoke about during the episode. And then
so anyway, I'll tell Dave
to what happened
because you were a witness to it and you know what the fuck happened.
Oh, it was all just a bit.
We're sitting in the living room having a few beers, and
having Chinese actually.
We were too, yeah.
We're
so
anyway,
started off properly, Vinno. Say you were in your home drunk. as always. As every day that ends in Y.
No,
Continue.
actually, this day we were drinking because Reese came down and we'd had a few beers at the pub and then we went home, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're sitting on the lounge eating Chinese for dinner, and Oliver,
Chinese
my
food.
son,
Yep.
didn't think that meant
Cannibal. Are you a cannibal too?
Maybe.
But anyway,
That's you too, Reese.
my son's
They
going
were drunk.
mental.
They were drunk.
My son's going mental, like running around the living room. And we've just taught him to say, put him up, right? And he throws his hands up. But after he does it, he runs at you. Yeah, Reese saw it. He runs at you. So anyway, I'm sitting there with a plate full of food and he starts running at me. Now, I didn't kick him, as Reese said. It wasn't a Muay Thai kick. It wasn't anything. I simply lifted my leg up and he ran into it, right?
In a push kick motion.
He didn't fall down. He didn't cry. He stopped, knocked my foot out the road and came and hit me anyway. But Reese, as soon as I lifted my foot, Reese went, I've seen it now. I've seen the bullying in action. I went, oh, for fuck's sake, here we go. So I knew exactly what was going to happen. It was just a matter of time before he brought this shit up. But
you should have seen Dustin Poirier choke himself out too. He just ran straight into Charles Oliveira's fucking rear naked choke. What was he thinking?
What was he thinking?
I may have gone a bit far by calling you an alcoholic child abuser, but I'm only acting off what Reese said. Reese is saying this happened, and I have to be like, holy shit.
That's a perfect example of propaganda and false and fake news, isn't it? Because you heard one side of the story.
Well, I've heard
one
two
side
now.
of the story.
And I don't know, and both have an interest. You know what I mean? Like, you're pretty biased now in your case, wouldn't you be, Vinno?
Why?
Can you really trust the word of a man?
Because you're
who hates
you.
Democracy.
You're you. You're not going to be like, fuck Vinno. You know what I mean? You're going to be like, no, Vinno's great. Vinno would never do that.
Vote for Vinno.
Yeah, look, free Vinno. Free Vinno.
Yeah. It was only a matter of time before that fucking got brought up.
It's like, I've got to cut it out.
I didn't know. I did it. I was a good sport.
No,
Left it there
you
for
could
the
have, though.
lulz.
You could have, though.
Hilarious.
It was
Left
funny.
it there for the lulz.
He's not everybody, and he's not a bully and all that.
And to be honest, Oliver had it all over him.
Yeah.
Man, that kid's a psycho. It's a nutcase.
That kind of stuff that made you think of the Spartan kick.
It's, I mean,
This is Sparta.
it's really, I just thought it was like funny
Well.
to see like the pass down of bullying to the next generation.
That's how he'll solve problems, Reese.
That's right. Do you know what I mean? Because like, it didn't matter what Vinno did. Oliver was just putting him up. He was ready to go.
He has to be. He's been fighting his whole life, probably.
These two. What's
know.
he had to fight? What's he?
His father is an alcoholic. We're getting out of hand now. Yeah.
Oh, have a
So he's
beer.
worked on the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah,
what
get fucked.
about the week? Did you get it updating on the days off?
Who was
or-
the first one to crack a beer today?
You.
One me. No, it was you, big fella, I think, wasn't it?
Not
Pretty sure
me.
it was definitely Vinno.
Reese is, it's all over the Instagram. I've got evidence.
I
have
okay.
evidence.
Oh, we've got
Bring it up.
evidence. We've got
I
evidence.
bet you do, but it's
Bring it
once
up.
again, it's 2 against 1.
Oh, and there's fucking what do they call it? Exhibit A in his hand right there. A VB of Victoria Beckham.
The fuck have you been drinking the whole time? Yeah, there we go.
Also on the
Hypocritical
very best,
motherfuckers.
Did we get any other feedback from last week's episode? I got a little
Actually-
bit. No, go on.
Yeah, I not so much from last week, but just as a whole. My old boy said he's listened to a few the last couple of weeks. He said he really enjoyed the mental health one, and he was quite proud of all of us.
Shit, yeah, thank you.
For being able to sit down and have a mature conversation and whatever. But he actually also said that he really enjoyed the Afghanistan episode.
Oh,
He said
right.
that,
Well, they do well. Well, it's
yeah,
better. Mental health's the big one, but
two favorite so far. So, but he did also ask me.
About the dad fucking? Was that?
No, not about the dad fucking.
Why?
why did he go
Dave-
to that stuff?
He actually asked about hip hop. He was like,
Shit, yeah.
he was under the impression that hip hop was like what Kylie Minogue did, and I was like, no, Dad.
Oh, like a
thought it was
R&B
Yeah,
uppy
right.
type of thing. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I actually sort of gave him a bit of a rundown on how hip hop came about and stuff, and he was like, wow, all right. And then he's like, if I wanted to listen to something, you know, to bring me into it, what would I listen to? And
Did you refer into the list that's on the?
Yeah, so I did. I said, well, if you go onto the episodes on YouTube, there's links to the songs we talked about in playlists and that. But I
That's
told him
cool.
to watch. I don't know if you guys
Hell
have
yeah.
watched it either. Have you watched like the evolution of hip hop series that's
Yeah.
on Netflix?
I watched,
That
I
was
think, the
cool,
first
man.
1 or 2
Like 4
episodes.
seasons.
Yeah, or whatever it is. I watched I think I got up to 90s, 80,000
Yeah.
or whatever. But no, I
That's so
love that
sick.
early shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so sick, man. And so I told him to watch that too. But
That's great because the history's important to it, eh?
That's right, yeah. And I
That's
sort of
even-
explained to him that it was, like it was the drum breaks and the DJing that started it.
And out of that,
it
you
was-
also had the dance troops and stuff, and that's where a lot of
That's right.
the street
Break
gangs.
paint, street knowledge.
Well, yeah, the
that's
street
right.
gangs evolved from that as well because they were
100%.
started as from that hip hop
B-boys.
scene.
Prison culture.
Yeah.
It's
You know
funny
what I
too, 'cause,
found
like-
out is kind of good for getting boomers into hip hop as well. Like your dad, didn't you say like he likes Deep Purple and Zeppelin and all that stuff?
Yeah.
You could show him a sampled song. Like you could show him like Kashmir by Led Zeppelin and having Kanye do over that beat. You know that
Yeah, yeah.
like I'm not a big Kanye fan, but that fucking was beautiful. That
was.
that beat coming into hip hop. But there'd be heaps of Deep Purple. You know they've got Smoke on
man.
the Water and all that shit. In it, and you could have someone rapping over a Busta Rhymes over Iron Man, and that might be something that he could like a little intro into seeing how this music can kind of
Evolved.
gets the bop. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool, man. But he said he's really looking forward to Christmas now because I was telling him that there's like so much hip hop Christmas music and
Yeah.
obviously I've been learning the turntable thing. So like he's really intrigued to see how all that sort of.
You should make him up a mix of hip hop that you really like as well.
Yeah, I
If
probably
he's
should,
asking about it, man, like absolutely should.
Knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him stuff
Yeah.
that sort of has dragged you into that. Or brought you
That's
into
brilliant.
That
That's cyclical. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like he's laid little seeds in you to help you go off onto the rock sort of side of it, you know, and the metal heavier stuff. And now you might get the chance to, man, your dad might be able to start. He's starting his hip hop trip, man. That's fucking
Maybe.
That's real cool. If it clicks
That
with
is
him, that's a mad road to go down. And man, that's awesome. And it gives me hope that, because I think I'm a curmudgeon music snob, and I'd love one day for something to grab me and be like, you know, I'm gonna get into this, and then have all that back catalogue. Wow.
Yeah, man. It's
I
funny
envy
too, because like I follow heaps of like hip hop subreddits and stuff on Reddit, and in so many conversations and comments and stuff from posts, you always see people saying like, you know, where people will put up a thing saying, "Can you recommend me?" You know, whatever they're looking for, or something similar to this, and you see people that are like, "Oh, have you listened to such and such?" And like, it'd be something that we'd probably think is really well known, and they'll be like, "No, I've never listened to it." You know what I mean? And then it's just a flood of comments going, "Oh man, I wish I could hear that for the first time again," because you know the feeling of listening to it and diving into it for the first time was just crazy. And it's like, you know what? I 100% am on board with that, because it's the best hearing it for the first time and just being blown away or whatever. Like it's fucking cool.
And that's cool that you get to now share that with your old man. Like,
yeah, I hope so, man.
You'll see him on the
I'm excited.
Theme Gotham Beach shortly. Hip hop name
He might be
Dave.
like that, hey.
Dave the Lander.
Can you imagine? He's like, "Hey, have you ever heard fucking Dance with the Devil by Immortal Technique recently?" Like, "Oh, Dad, I fucking know what you just went through, bro. I know what you know." Like,
and we've
you know
said
what I mean?
before, everybody remembers how they felt the first time they heard that song.
It's like, oh no, and at the end, oh no, man, I think hip hop's awesome. He's got, and there is something there for everyone. So if he finds his path, he'll definitely go down it, man. That's wicked.
Well, it's funny because when I brought up like Grandmaster Flash and stuff, he was like, "Oh, I've heard of him," you know, like so, and he knows. And it was my mum was the one that showed me Grandmaster Flash, like, you know, White Lines, like just she
Melly Mel was on that as well. Yeah.
And she loved heaps of like 80s sort of like breaks and, you know, the techno-y break dance side of you know, electro and stuff like that. My mum loved all that shit, and she showed me all that. So I had kind of like, it was weird because I had the best of both worlds, I guess. Yeah. That's probably why I'm into heavy music and why I'm into hip hop, because I had both sides of the equator. Yeah. From my mum and my dad, which is fucking, I'm pretty lucky there, I guess.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I find it interesting, like, well, not interesting, but surprising that, he hasn't sort of come up and asked you earlier, because you were living out there for a long time with him.
Oh yeah, and I've listened to hip hop for music. Fucking yeah.
If you're not in the right mind,
what is this garbage? Yeah. At the time,
my dad probably hates hip hop because he just remembers what, like late 90s, early 2000s. Fucking from my room. "Hi kids, do you like violence? Do you want to see me stick?" And he's like, "What is that shite?"
One of my eyelids,
Or even Limp Bizkit. "Ain't it a shame that you can't say fuck? Fuck's just a word." And he's like, "It's not music." You know, I'm like, "Dad, this is the future. What do you know?" Slam door.
Man, I remember when I first got the Marshall Mathers LP, which was pretty much my introduction to a lot. But man, I remember just going, "I can't let Dad know I've got this," and like I would listen to it so quiet, or just I'd never touch it unless he was not home. Like,
my parents took it off me, man.
I used to hide it, man. I used to hide it in my room so he wouldn't find it.
I thought I was being sneaky as well, and they heard it. I got it confiscated, man.
There's a certain track off 2001 and all when it comes on. There's like porno.
Yeah,
you know, like there's lots of weird stuff. Eddie Murphy used to talk about sneaking down to his basement to play Richard Pryor stuff. Eminem, like, and hip hop's kind of like our Richard Pryor, right? It's like, Eminem is, you know what I mean? It's like this is some shit like that no one's supposed to fucking listen to right now.
Yeah. Oh man, I was
And he looks
very
like me.
secretive.
And he looks like me.
Yeah. Oh man, I used to man, I remember when the first time I ever heard Simon Says by Faramunch, and I was just like, this is, and I probably still feel like it's one of the best hip hop beats ever. But we used to have this like pretty good stereo in our house, and fuck man, when Dad was working of a night, he was working 2 jobs, so I'd come home from school, I'd see him for maybe like 20 minutes, and then I'd have the house to myself for the night, kind of thing, if Julie was away or whatever. So like I would just pump music like until I went to bed. And man, just every time I listen to Simon Says, I think of just being out there and just absolutely blasting. And you remember like back in the day with mobile phones, and Optus used to do like the 20 minutes for free after 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Do you remember that shit?
Yeah.
So like after
On
9
your old
o'clock,
Nokia
everyone,
3315 and shit.
yeah, man, everyone would just be calling each other, and you'd be trying to like call someone and be engaged. So you'd be like timing it, going, right, I've got to beat it when they try and hang up and call back, you know, like try and cut in on people and stuff like, and I just have music pumping and just be like flat out ringing people. And man, what a time.
Man,
Blazing
that
up.
and MSN Messenger. Yeah,
Yeah, buying
Yes.
ringtones
that
and
was
shit.
big shit. Yeah. I
Trying to
remember
set up your-
making ringtones. Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Typing them in. Fuck,
And
that was
trying to
shit.
like,
That was shit. How did we jump so far
was it?
to just
What
having
are they-
little fucking snake pictures and fucking bleep 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 fucking tones to now you can like have fucking, you've got like a fucking megapixel camera, you know, what was it like, what's the 10 megapixel cameras now on phones now? It's crazy.
Yeah,
you
man.
sound so old right now, and I love it.
Oh yeah, am I right? Am I right? Is it 10 megapixel?
It's probably way more than that.
Fuck, that's 10 million pixels though. When, especially since we used to draw the pixels.
Yeah.
Remember when you'd have the back of magazines, you used to have heaps of tones you could download?
Yeah, man. You could
Fucking
get your
hell.
free ones and shit. I actually
Screensaver.
remember you drop kicking your old 3315 over the footy goalpost on the back oval to see if you could break
Who,
it.
me?
Yeah, you.
Fuck, man, they were back
Those things
oval
were
days were
indestructible.
memory destroying days.
Oh, weren't they? That was where
Yeah.
Hicksy got his name Creep.
Yeah,
He
I
just
love
used
that
to fucking
story.
disappear. Yeah, weirdo.
No, but there was actually a story,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
there
let's
was
have
a
it.
story, but
wasn't it? Oh,
I
fucking
don't know.
blurb that.
Yeah, just put a beep.
Nothing bad happened to Retton. It's just, you know, saying people's names. But yeah, what do you think of this guy? You look over and Hicksy's like, he's a bit of a creep. Bit of a creep.
But he got it
Good
as
looking
well
creep.
because he'd be standing in a group and everyone was there. Next minute, Sean was just fucking gone and he'd be already halfway back, like across the football field. You're like, when the fuck did he go, man? That was just creepy
He's a
as shit.
magician.
He is,
He's a
man.
magician.
Yeah, not a word, nothing. Just turn around and go, and no one knew what the fuck was going on.
Master of sauce and master of disappearance. The man.
Master of pumping 2 durries in 10 minutes on our break at Woolies.
You get him in. You get him in.
Oh,
man.
man.
He's a fiend. Loves them.
I'd walk in dizzy, head spinning because I was trying to keep up with him.
Chews them, doesn't he?
Oh,
Eats
that's
them a lot.
lovely. I wish I still smoked. And
Well,
I don't.
speaking of which-
But I do. Oh, yeah.
Durries, you've been off for over a year now, Vinno.
Over a year, last week or the week before, was it?
Yeah.
Over 12 months, yeah. So I quit before Christmas last year.
Good.
It was about my 6th attempt.
Yeah.
I ended up doing it on the Champics. I went that 3 times and finally gave them up. But
Me too. That helped me
The
too.
longest I've ever
Crazy
seen
dreams.
be off him.
well, man, this is the longest I haven't smoked since I was about 16.
Yeah.
Apart
Good
from
on you,
that,
bro.
I've sort of
Keep it up.
gone 9 months or whatever. Oh man, I don't feel like them at all now. At all. Like, I thought I would at least get close to the 12-month mark and have a drink and think about one, but no, that's not the case.
You were ready. You know, that's
I
what it
was
was.
well and truly
You were
ready.
ready to
I was
fucking
well
do
and
it. You
truly-
were sick
And
of them.
I think
Yeah.
the biggest motivation was having, like, when the little bloke came along.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
And it was scary, and I sort of appreciate it more now as well because, I mean, the other day I was putting up Christmas lights and I had cable ties, right? And I had one in my mouth while I was climbing up the ladder. And when I came down the ladder and I turned around, he's got one in his mouth. He'd pulled one out of the packet. So he's copying everything I do. And I've said it to Rin a couple of times, like, geez, I'm glad I'm not smoking anymore, because if he was the way he is at the moment now, you know, he would see me doing that and he would then take it up later down the track. And
100%.
He'd be front kicking kids in school.
No, I'd make sure that he set up a lucrative dairy selling business.
Now you are right though, mate. You are,
yeah.
and that's why I stopped. I was like, because I think Maisie was 1 or 2. She just turned 2, I think, or was about to. And I promised myself, fucking, by I was 30, I'd quit. And I was like, about to be my 31st birthday. So I was like, I'm fucking running out of time here. I'm 30 now. I'll have a year, and I did it. And then right before my 31st birthday, I quit. And it was, I think Maisie was the influence, because it was like I was finding myself, you know, I was smelling like smoke. I would need to go for smokes, and then Emma'd look after Maisie, you know, and I felt like I was kind of running out a bit. But also there's fucking money, it's bad for you, it's messy. I was making rollies now because I was trying to save money. And rollies are just fucking messy.
Rollies were the way, really.
Yeah, mate, yeah. They were, I don't know how
better for you than TaylorMade's.
It's
cheaper.
money.
But
Taylor's a bear. I'm sorry. Taylor's a bear.
I'm with Dave.
I disagree.
Not only the fact that I can't
Taylor's
roll those,
better.
but yeah, Taylor's a...
Look, I could roll them all. Pokemon, you know what I mean? And roll them all. I love it.
This is another one of those conversations, Vinno, where it's like you've got to keep doing it to get the hang of it. Kind of like
I tried.
subtitles.
I tried for a while, a long time. Like, because you were trying to get me into the rollies back when we were
I was
at
purely
HVO.
doing it just for the money saving aspect.
Yeah, and we were talking about that back when we were at HVO, when you were the money aspect.
Yeah,
and I gave it a crack, man. But yeah, I don't know. I liked the convenience of when I felt like a durry, I'd go and grab one out of my packet, light the fucking thing, smoke it.
That was another good thing
driving.
about rollies too. If you were kind of trying to get off them, because sometimes you'd be like, I don't have time or the effort to roll one, so you just don't have one. You know,
I always did though. No matter what.
Did too, bro.
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna find a way to roll this one hand if I have to, in the wind, in your coat, whatever. You know what I mean? That's no excuse.
Yeah, that theory's null and void.
It's
Losing
crazy,
prawns to
man.
lose weight.
It didn't matter how fucking pissed I got, I could still roll a perfect dart.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, like, I could be absolutely legless, slurring drunk, and I'd still roll the smickest dart. And
There used to be dudes that were real good at it, that just do the one hand. Here you go. You know what I mean? Like,
Dude,
them
some
old school motherfuckers. Like, everyone has like a great uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these
used
old guys.
Yeah. You're driving a truck and roll a durry with the other hand, you're just sitting there looking at him going, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, I'm
where
like,
did that come from?
The only thing
And
I'd
he's
say
like-
that I didn't like about rollies was the stains. The yellow
Yeah.
stains, man. And
You
like,
get-
you see
get
it on
them
like
with
old
smokes
blokes
too,
with
yeah.
beards, man, when they're like fully grey and all their mustaches.
Yeah,
are
yellow. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's the only thing I
messier
don't
too.
like about
There's
it.
tobacco everywhere in your life. It just, for most of it, like, trying to roll when you're driving, don't do it. Never, not I ever did it, of course. But like, people do
I
it
did
and
it
fuck
every
them.
day.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck you.
Every
Wow.
day. I'm pretty sure the floor of my ute is tobacco.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but you're still saving money, funnily enough. Like,
But
Hey, if you ever got desperate, you could just scrape the floor.
Oh, wow.
desperate box. Yeah.
But yeah, it's...
that's addiction for you.
I mean, I feel shitloads better for giving them up. Not only money. I think I've saved about 17 grand. Yeah,
easy.
And the price has gone up in that time.
Oh yeah, that's
but
one thing
even-
I've definitely noticed too. Is the money in
Shock.
the bank, man?
Yeah.
Since I stopped.
Yep.
It shocks me whenever I hear how much a pack costs. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
bro.
man. And
What? Oh, did you see? Actually, speaking of tobacco, the
New Zealand's-
yeah.
anybody
That's
that's
so cool, man.
14 or younger at the moment will not be able to buy
Be able to buy
tobacco at all, and that's going to increase as well. So as the years go on, they're slowly. So basically, if you're a smoker now, that's like you'll be able to smoke. But once you pass away, or as they pass away, smoking will eventually be banned. There's a lot.
dig it.
Pretty wild, man.
Absolutely, man. That's a they're sort of leading the way there in a big way. New Zealand,
Huge.
that's a huge.
Well, they're owning it.
Almost a social experiment too. Like to see.
Well,
to
you
see
have
how
our
it works.
leaders that are willing to condemn us, and they'll be like, "These people are horrible," but they're willing to tax it up to wazoo, and they're willing to leave it and say and tell you that you have to be in this area and you're not allowed in this area because of smoking when it used to be part of it. And they're right, but with the moral condemnation with it should come the illegality of it. I think it will be easier. I think people chase illicit drugs for highs, and I think that they would chase something else beside tobacco. I think tobacco would die, but it would still stick around for the people who are allowed to, which they're allowed to anyway. It was a smart move by the government to do it that way and not just have a blanket cut off year.
Yeah.
So the people now, you can keep doing it if you want, but we're going to stop this. And we're going to be honest, we're going to stop taking that's a big thing. They're going to lose a lot of tax revenue from that.
Oh yeah,
that's a big thing. But it's ballsy, but at least it's not two-faced. It's not like, well, you're willing to take me tax money but y'all and look down on me. At least they're like, no, we're actually treating this as a health problem,
and the thing with that is too, you've got those people that are heavily addicted that can't quit. Well, I mean, for anyone who hasn't smoked to sit there and go, I just quit. It is an addiction, and everybody deals with it differently.
Definitely.
And the problem I see with what's happening over here with raising the prices of cigarettes is those people that can't afford it but are heavily addicted, who are expected to just quit, who might not have that support to quit, can now no longer afford cigarettes, and we're already
it
seeing.
just becomes like another drug addiction, doesn't it?
We're seeing
they'll
already,
go to
man.
extremes to feed that addiction.
Well, you see it now, and I feel sorry for the bumpers and that do go along and pull the butts out, because that's not healthy. Especially with the current pandemic, and these people are going and pulling that out because they can't afford them.
And there's black market as well. Chop.
That's right. Yeah. So, I think something has to be done to a degree, but not just the price hikes that have happened without the extra support that's there, because we all hear about the prices raising, but there's not necessarily the support there. There is.
It's pretty wild the size of the inflation on cigarettes. Like,
that's what I mean, man. It's not like 50 cents.
That's the deterrent. It is a bit of a deterrent, I will say, because that's one of the reasons we stopped. Right? Was that it's fucking hard to keep going. But at the same time, it's a weird punishment, right?
Yeah, if that's all you have, and for some people, and I can relate. When I was smoking, and this was a few years ago before I went, right, I want to quit, I enjoyed it, because it was my 5 minutes walking away and having, a bit of time to myself, or it was walking outside and doing something outside while I have a smoke, right? But I enjoyed it. And for these people that I'm talking about, or smokers in general, that do still enjoy it, or need it, they just can't quit, and they start to get pretty strong side effects. If they can't afford that, they're going to try and find a means to get them, like the smokes, one way or another, and it's forcing them to quit when they might not be ready to quit, for one. Yeah. And as we know...
And that's one thing I've always said is you won't quit until you're ready to quit.
That's exactly right. You can't be told, right, you've got to quit now, because you're not going to do it, are you?
No,
you've got to get to that stage yourself. And, it makes it hard for those sorts of people. And if that's all they have, they might not have family in the area. They might not have family living with them or in the town. They might not have hobby or anything, smoking might be their hobby. And that might sound crazy to some people.
They don't understand.
They don't understand.
It's the reason for a break. And here's the thing. Why are we putting punishments or levies or whatever we want to call it, deterrents on things that only affect poor people? Yeah. Like raising prices on stuff only will affect poor smokers. So it's just a weird way to go. I think what you got to do is you got to make health services free. You got to make Champix free. You got to make health lines or whatever kind of way. Even some sort of fucking what you call it, not the vapes, but whatever is available, I think should be made free. Counselling, hypnotism, whatever works for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There is a lot of those services that are subsidised heavily. Champix is extremely cheap, but the side effects that go along with that, like not everybody finishes it, man.
It worked for me, but it's heavy dreams. Fucking heavy, man.
The first time I stopped taking them because I turned me into a zombie. The second time, man, the dreams were quite vivid and it scared the shit out of me. And this time, I did get the side effects. I was cooking the guts.
Were they
and all
lucid?
those. All right, one of the dreams I had, man, was, and this is recent time. This time they were pretty funny. But the last time they were scary.
They're pretty renowned for giving nightmares, eh?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, the one of the recent dreams I had was I was riding a push bike down one of the country roads that we go through to work to get out to Mudgee. And then that push bike turned into a skateboard, and I was like hooking along at 100 Ks, man. And then I looked down and the skateboard was a dog. And I was just riding this fucking dog along like fucking, and I woke up, man. And when I say lucid, it felt real.
I'm not quitting smokes now.
Yeah. Like I
so
fucking
good.
woke up looking for the dog that was a skateboard. Like it was fucking
Is
real.
this Champix or acid?
Yeah, dude. But
It's
one
funny
of the
you
other
say that.
ones. One of
It's
the
funny,
other
yeah.
dreams, the nightmares that I had the previous time was, I woke up and I'd had a dream that Rin was stabbing me. Like I was in bed and man, I woke up and I was sweating and I thought the sweat was blood. That's how real it felt. So I was like freaking out, and she was at work. She wasn't even at home. She was on night shift. And
she snuck back out the window real
yeah,
quick.
she fucking came home. Fuck this guy, stabbed the fuck out of me. But I woke up, man, and I was dripping in sweat. Like I was in a state. And that was where I sort of went, yeah, that's where I sort of went, fuck, if I have another one of these, that's it. Like, that's fucked up. Because it felt real, man. Like, I was asleep and I could feel like the blade going in my chest and shit like that. That's why when I woke up, I thought, this is fucking something
I think
else.
it's part of it. I think Reese was on the money when he talked about, is this Champix or acid? Now, one of the old Terence McKenna and the old people that developed acid, and even people that do ayahuasca trips and all that crazy stuff that I wouldn't have a clue about. All that stuff originated as help as well to get people off drugs, and it did work. And AA, I think, even originated that way, and they had to change it for obvious reasons, and it went more Christian based. Look into that. But a lot of people say that when they have these trips and these experiences, maybe they're guided by a shaman, it does help you get up because you're able to look at these dreams or these hallucinations or whatever you go to in this state, helps you kind of look inward, and it'll give you an analogy that might change and be so real an experience that you might be what you needed to push it off. It might have been that might have wanted you to just experience what life and death, what the idea of all your loved ones taken away, whatever, you know what I mean? If you believe in that type of thing. Some people think that those types of trips, mushrooms, LSD and all, can help with quitting other drugs like cigarettes. It's a huge thing.
Well, I mean, I even look at all the benefits that they've sort of come to with psychedelics, with things like PTSD and anxiety and stuff like that. Like it's there's got to be something.
You do look inward.
Yeah,
they say, and you come out very different. That's what they say. They call it the ego death, right? Where you go in here and it kind of shows you your mortality and puts you in your place.
Humbles you.
It's significant insignificance or whatever you want to look at it. A lot of people become one with nature as well and believe that they're breathing with the trees. And then there's other people that theorize that when you take those natural drugs like ayahuasca, the plants and nature try to talk to you and say, we are living, we are one with you, don't cut us down. Like it's a way of, those are ways of plants talking to us and stuff. Well, obviously, every culture is different and all, but very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Have you ever, what's that dude's name? He's a mycologist. He talks about like mushrooms being like sentient. And
was he on Joe Rogan? Was he the guy with the mushroom hat?
Yeah, that's the one. What's his name?
Yeah, he could bring Joe Rogan a mushroom hat. I can't remember. But he is. There's heaps of those dudes.
Man,
going
that
Rogan.
episode was wild. Like,
Yeah, man.
I've watched some of his other stuff since hearing him on there too, and I was just like, man, some of the shit he talks about is
got an interesting
crazy.
take on things, don't they? That's
a lot of his
yeah.
stuff is scientific, man. It's like it's legit.
It's all based around that. There's huge studies that go into this.
He talks about like humans literally being like related to mushrooms, man. Like it's
yeah, right.
Have you ever seen what
I just
mushrooms are like
instantly started
underneath the
thinking
ground?
of, like, the
They're
Last
like
of Us.
cities, and they talk to each other. So mushrooms
that's what
and here their spores can get attacked at one stage, or it got blown, and they speak to each other and they warn each other. Like plants as well, and trees. Like there's some Amazon forests that are like huge organisms on the ground, and we only see the hair. So like imagine seeing a human head, you know, and you might see this is a beautiful head of hair with a fade, but really underneath there's a brain.
Rub it in, mate. Don't
It's a brain.
go bald over here.
Look,
Oh, no, don't rub it in. Look, I'm just saying, you guys, you might look, you're more of a better example. You might look at Vinno's head and say, wow, this is a barren wasteland. But underneath you have a fucking, an infinite amount of intellect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
fucking. You don't know how to respond to that. He's fucking. Yeah.
Well, he attacked me for the hair. I didn't
Reese attacked you for the hair.
But going back to even what Vinno was talking about with the Library of Alexandria and our history and our old civilizations that might be forgotten or ways of doing things. Graham Hancock, he goes through that, and he talks about how mushrooms people kind of hear about those lost civilizations, but then it ends up kind of making sense. And when they find so Graham Hancock and Robert Schoch went to Egypt, and they found out that the Sphinx is actually heaps older than we think it is, and Egyptologists don't want to change the narrative because they're Egyptologists. They've been fucking.
It's supposed to be a specialty.
Yeah, they're like, well, this happened and this happened. You're gonna have to rewrite everything, and they're like, oh, well, then we're not experts anymore, and we've written this book, and but so there's a lot of that, and they're seeing stuff in Göbekli Tepe and even underwater in Japan, civilizations that might be flooded, and then we've the old Atlantis as well.
Yeah.
Tales of that old shit. So, man, I love all that old shit. I love that. It fascinates me.
And that's why, like, hearing about that conspiracy theory that came. Well, not even a conspiracy theory. It's a theory.
It's a theory. Yeah.
There
are some. Yeah.
Look, everyone's going to have their take on it, but that's why it sort of pricked my ears up when I heard that, because I've enjoyed that sort of stuff, and there's still so many questions about even how the pyramids were built. And then, to hear that, that library existed and it being destroyed, or the contents of it being destroyed, said it's back 1,000 years.
That definitely happened.
It's just
there's historians of that time recorded it as a travesty.
Well, but there was a daughter library as well, so there was another one built.
There's parts found, but it's
you look at it though, like you think if that set us back 1,000 years, right? Legitimately, you look at the technological advance literally just in the last 20 years since we were all in high school to now.
Huge.
20 years. Imagine 1,000 years, man.
And that was a Roman invasion. Was that right? Roman invasion? Think about what it was.
It was a combination.
It was Greek or Roman,
it was Caesar's civil war, like the Roman civil war with Julius Caesar. There was other tribes coming
Hannibal
in
or something.
So it was at its prime for. I can't remember. I did read it today.
Think of that. That was an invasion, right? Think of what an asteroid would do, or a huge, fucking natural disaster would do. That would rock. Man, with solar flares, the sun could fart and we're fucked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It could just fuck us. So like, there's so much things that, and we look in our telescopes and we look at other planets that are just pebble dashed, and there's no chance. Life had no chance. You know what that does to an atmosphere changes it forever. And we all know our origins, and the moon's origins come from fucking falling off Earth and a great catastrophe, and we see it. So if a Roman invasion can wipe us out for 1,000 years, we don't know what civilizations have been destroyed, you know, through that too. So that's a lot of them have flood marks on the Sphinx, which would date it back to like a long time before it was even said to have built. That they reckon that the face on the Sphinx was changed so many different times to reflect different leaders and stuff. So no,
That's
like
crazy. Yeah.
we don't know. Like we know some shit, and we're gonna learn some shit, and we're trying to figure it out. But I love it. I love it. I love every little gain we make, and that science allows itself to progress and get better.
It's and here we are, just three blokes sitting in our fucking rooms talking shit.
Maybe the mushrooms are telling people not to cut down the trees.
Like, it's so minuscule in comparison. You know what I mean?
Like the technology you were speaking about, man. 20 years ago, we wouldn't have been able to do this. I mean, you look at the advancements in the internet and being able
were
to...
podcasts even a thing 20 years ago? Probably
it
not.
could have been 1,000 years ago.
You had the radio, yeah.
They might have been 100,000 years ago. Yeah. And now it just got bombed out of existence. But I mean, think about it, we might have been better.
We were probably actually just sitting around a fire talking this shit.
Probably. But it might have been more like right now we're so obsessed with ourselves. Like we've got the iPad. Back then it might have been the us pad. You know? Maybe. You know what I mean?
That's corny as fuck. That is.
Boy, that's the most hippie thing I've ever heard.
Why we're talking about it?
Us, man.
Oh man,
that's fantastic. No, but it's, it's cool. Like, and that was where that talk show and hearing those conspiracy theories, you know, you take them with a grain of salt. But some of them are interesting, and there is some truth behind it, and then it just gets blown out of proportion and those sorts of things. But one that I really enjoy going back and looking through, because he talks about him so much, Vinny Paz, in a lot of his songs, man, with
Dead Sea Scrolls,
End of Days. Like, he just,
man, what
the
a
whole
song.
track on, it's a fantastic song, man, awesome song. But a lot of the theories that he throws out in that, you know, go and have a look, because it's interesting and where he gets a lot of that from. You know, it's cool.
He talks about a lot of that. He goes, where was Jesus in the Bible for 17 years? He was in Tibet and India, and they were his peers. And he talks about the Dead Sea Scrolls found in Jordan. Like, we don't know. We don't know the history. You
Black
know?
Pope in Solomon's Temple. Like,
well, the Black Pope was Galatius.
Yeah, but it's like the way he throws that
knowledge.
Do the knowledge. Do the knowledge. Yeah, it's cool. Like, I enjoy a good conspiracy theory. I think if you don't, you know, you're not asking
you get the fuck out.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say you can get the fuck out.
There's harmless conspiracy theories where you can all talk about and discuss, could this have happened? Did this happen? Like, let's see evidence. This is fun. Wow, that's
when
interesting.
It starts to get to the point where you're hanging out in the park waiting for JFK to come back because you think he's
it's like, well, was it the Jews? Actually, is this all the Jews' fault? I think it is. Yeah, that's when you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's
when you start to make it match your bias.
Yeah. It's
don't forget Korean Jesus.
Yeah. Oh well, look, no, you don't bother him, and he won't bother you. Korean Jesus. Oh man. They don't fuck around. Christians around the world and Asia and Pacific Islands, they don't fuck around. Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
You don't mess with them, he won't mess with you. But here, look, another thing. Look, just while I'm at it, and I could do a little addendum to last week's episode. I got some hate for my hate of Cool Runnings. And people, I got someone saying, no, well, here, I'm going to talk about it. Said, oh, but you called them lawyers and you didn't say anything about what they lied about. You were like, look after yourself. So I'm going to just list off a couple of things here.
Hang on,
John Candy's character.
Can we hear, who gave you this hate? Was it Colin?
I'm only going to name, Colin's one of them. Yeah. Colin's one of them. But there were others. And I won't name names, but now they're generally part of the team. Team Hate Cool Runnings. So John Candy's character never exists. Made up the name. There was no Derice. Made up him. No Sanka. No Yul Brenner, no Junior. Do
'cause
you know
he's
that
dead.
funny thing with Junior and his dad, or that weird thing? Never happened. None of them were Olympic sprinters. They were all in the army, and they were just picked to do it. There was no coach who had a cheating scandal before, and there was no untrustworthiness. They never carried the bobsled. There was no egg. Okay, think of it all. Think of all this. Think of everything you love about the movie. What else do you like about it?
Dave?
Lucky we can take
Never
all the
happened.
Batman movies as gospel then.
Yeah, yeah.
No. Batman is fiction. Batman did not happen in 1988.
Dave,
And if it did, I would
Who
hope
made-
he used his real name.
who made Cool Runnings? What company made Cool Runnings?
Probably Disney or something.
Yeah, yeah. Do you believe
Yeah.
anything that fucking Disney puts out?
No, if they said Disney Titanic movie, yeah, Disney.
Are you trying to tell me that Frozen's not real?
No,
I'm
that's
telling you. And
100%
have they
real.
ever said it was? Did they ever say it was a true story? This is the 88 Olympics. We were alive for this, boys. Well, Vinno, were you alive in the 88?
No,
He was.
89.
He's
89.
No, he was 89.
Yeah.
A little baby over here. But here, we were
he
alive
wasn't
during
even
this.
born.
Why did they change the names? Why did they change the names? Why did they pretend that they were
so
fucking sprinters?
if you have a look
Why were
at-
they sprinters? Because
they
they're
put-
Jamaican.
If they put
Fictional
based on a true story,
characters. Fictional characters.
They're all
if they
fake.
put based on a true story, does that mean that you
Oi,
think that?
it happened at the Olympics and they pretended that they made the finals? And here's another thing, all right? They never made the finals, okay? And the idea is that they didn't get further in the finals because their bobsled fell apart. Remember that? No. You know what it was?
didn't-
Inexperienced bobsled driving is the reason why that happened. Why did they change it? It's like, oh, someone screwed it up. No, never happened. There's no evil Germans either. There was no slow clap. Everyone
always a
embraced them
slow
when they came in.
So
Everyone
you're starting to
because-
distort the facts of the movie right now because
No, there's no
even
facts
in the movie. There's
no facts in the movie.
No one
No,
tampered.
you can't call it facts of the
all
movie.
right. Parts of the movie.
They did. They did
no one
tamper with the
tampered
snow.
with the sled. No one tampered
They
with the
did.
sled.
Remember they
it
sent
was
that
an
fella in?
old. No, it was an
It was
old
the fella
sled.
that from the commission. Remember they invent. Oh yeah, as well. They invented a winter sports Olympics commission that hated the Jamaicans, and they sent that guy into their training facility to unscrew the thing.
He
Do you
didn't
remember?
know that.
He goes in and out.
They bought the old sled and they
Never
did it
happened.
up. Remember? Yeah. So
Yeah,
you,
but it never
you can't
happened.
even-
But that never happened in real life.
I'm talking
and
about
the old
the
sled
movie.
fell apart, and that's why they didn't win. And that's why they crashed?
So
right?
okay, did it any
Yeah,
So
say
sure
you're
they
telling me
drivers.
Jamaica didn't win the bobsled in?
I'm telling you that they
They
lost.
didn't win in Cool
worse.
Runnings either.
And in Cool Runnings, no, but they said, but we have to finish the race. And they put it on their shoulder, didn't they? And they walked it, and everyone was like, oh my God. But what really happened was Olympic staff had to push the fucking thing. Look this up. They didn't fucking push it. They fucking salted behind it. And one fella in front of it, they're pretty injured in fairness. They just got into a big crash because of inept driving. But not a screw loose. But yeah, look. Great movie, great songs that never happened. Remember the egg? How funny is the egg? Yeah, man. Oh, here's my lucky egg.
man.
Oh, never happened. Never
A
happened.
push car's a
son,
real
You know
thing.
the song? Some people say, you know, they can't believe everybody. Never happened. Never happened. Never happened.
A push car's a real thing.
Yeah.
All right, so the movie's factual.
Jamaica is also a real place. Jamaica's a real place.
Is it?
It is. Although I'd have to check now.
I've never
But that's all I wanted to say is that it was all
ever
lies.
seen you so hurt over a movie.
It's
Look-
Cool Runnings and Conor McGregor. That's all I have.
Jamaica produced the.
This
King
is
of
why you
Hip
get
Hop.
banned on Facebook, though.
Jamaica have a great Olympic dynasty. You know what I mean? Jamaica are fantastic athletes. Why lie? Why say it was sprinters that it was? Not handpicked people from the army, because an American-born person in America had a marketing idea to do it. Look it all up. Look it all up, guys. It wasn't these guys that were like, what are we going to do? I thought it was always going to be good to get Jamaican sprinters to run the bobsled. Never happened. Just saying. So come at me. Come at me again, people. If you want to go, you go, but Disney isn't. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So people,
Bro,
Okay, if you're
Wait
watching,
till they do the 9/11.
Don't ever enjoy
Disney
anything
9/11 where it all ended. It wasn't actually
A Disney
it was actually
9/11.
it was a screw loose in the plane, a screw loose in the plane, and then it flew in, and President Bippity Boppity Boo, because we don't need real people's names anymore, was like, behind it all probably, and
We
East
apologise
Germans
to
did it.
everybody.
Speaking of conspiracy theories,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Why have facts
Wow.
anymore if we can just make Disney
Makers of
movies about it?
conspiracy.
Oh, wait till they do the Kathy Freeman fucking Disney movie, Vinno, and they change her name. Oh, mate, you wait for it, and then see who cares. Then see who cares.
Did Kathy
God.
Freeman get arrested in fucking Bali?
We don't talk yet. She married an Irish fella too. Might have led her astray. Did you say in Berkshire?
I was being an idiot. It's fine.
She did get in trouble though. I think she is in trouble for some shit lately,
I was
wasn't she?
referencing her to Chappelle Corby.
Oh, Chappelle Corby.
Old Chappelle.
Oh, she's
Body
back.
back
She's
for
out.
a
She
week.
got out.
Yeah,
Hey,
she's
yeah.
back in the country. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That'd have to be nearly 20 years ago now, eh?
When she got caught, but I think it's only like 8 years, maybe less, that she came back.
Man, I remember the Bali 9 when they
They
executed
didn't get
those
fucking-
guys.
They
Man.
didn't get prison sentences.
I remember hearing. Oh, we were in Morton Island. We were on a holiday,
people. Yeah.
and I remember that case going on, and yeah, I remember seeing it or hearing on it on the news. I was like, "This is wild!" Like, it was a pretty hot topic. You had Chappelle Corby at the same time, and the Bali 9. Like,
Well,
and
that's
that
the
wasn't-
argument at the time, wasn't it?
yeah.
Is it respecting people, countries' rules, or do we still condemn them and try and get them back in? You know, like, and it's like obviously I think it's draconian laws, and I hate that there be a death penalty for that. But
Man, it's funny.
can't go to those countries, you know. And
It's
do that.
known.
One of
It's
the
known.
best-
You know, like.
One of the best books I've ever read, man. I can't even remember the dude's name who's about. It's been a long time since I've read it, but I had this book called The Damage Done. I can't remember his fucking name. It was a dude from Melbourne.
Was it
and he
Jerice?
got locked.
Jerice Bennett.
He got locked up
Sanka
in
Coffee.
May as well call him Derice Bennett. That person doesn't exist. That person's
Yeah,
not going to be upset.
It was a dude who got locked. He got arrested in Thailand for
Your
trafficking
Brenner is a real
drugs.
person.
Is he the fighter guy?
No, your
No,
Brenner.
no,
No, there's a different. There's heaps.
It was back in like the 70s or some shit. And he got arrested in Thailand. He spent 11 years in prison in Thailand. And it was like he wrote a book about like his time in prison. Bro, wild.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
their prison system compared to probably what we get here
Dude, there's a
was
They run
doco
the prison.
series.
Yeah.
There's a
They-
doco
they
series
used-
on
they
Netflix
usually-
about them.
Yeah. Well, they used to feed the rats their food to grow the rats so they could kill the rats and eat the rats because it was more substantial, like meal for them. And
Yeah,
like
farming.
as like they used to have like a stupid amount of people in these tiny little cells, like. But for punishment, man, like they would literally make them wade in the septic tanks. And like he was talking about, like he spent days in a septic tank, and because everyone was in there, they're all spewing.
Mm.
So the septic tank was filling up while they were in it and shit. Man, like wild.
I've seen a fella, they made a movie about his book as well, and it was a Thai prison too. So he was over in Thailand as a British fella, and he was a Thai boxer, so he went to Thailand. But he got into some drugs shit, and he ended up in prison there for like 2 decades. And
Yeah.
there's a movie about him now, and he ended up having like a ladyboy friend, that like not as his partner, but as like a good friend and all. It was like his mate during the whole thing, and it's supposed to be pretty. Like I've seen him interviewed a couple of times. He was on do you know who Sean Atwood is? He's an English fella, but he was in America as an ecstasy dealer, and he ended up running into the mafia and all. But he's got some great stories.
Yeah.
But he was another person he ran into. Jails around the world, fuck. We are so lucky, even in our jails. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chile.
Warren Fellows was the dude's name. I just looked it up here now.
Yeah, right.
It was 1978, man. Man, if you, I think I've got the hard copy somewhere. Man, I'll lend it to you. It's such a
absolutely.
good read, man. It's fucking.
Lend it to me when you give me. I've got to get that shirt back so I can send it down south. I'll get it off you then.
Yes. Yes.
So-
Way on down south.
Are you working tomorrow? You're not working tomorrow.
I am working tomorrow, man. Yeah. Next day off Thursday. So
I'm on night shift Wednesday, Thursday.
I know you are.
Yeah, but yeah, for sure, man. I don't know if it's here. It might be at Dad's, maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
when we catch up and get around the fire, we'll.
I've got it
Definitely.
somewhere. But yeah, fucking good book, man. Good book. Yeah, real good.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, and like I said,
Yeah.
there's that doco series on Netflix. I think it's still on there. World's Toughest Prisons.
Yeah, man. And banged
Oh,
up
that's
abroad
the-
as well.
That's the English guy, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
Who
he
was wrongfully convicted or whatever, and
wrongfully convicted.
So
He goes to Russia. He goes to Thailand.
Yeah.
He goes to a lot of those.
How about what was the prison he went to when they literally are allowed to go back out and work in the community? It was over in Europe somewhere, Sweden, maybe.
Yeah, sweet. I was watching one on that. So they have the free roam prisons and stuff like that. Finland or something like that. But then
There's
they've got
even
to
some where
go
they go out and like hunt with guns and shit, like
for minor
all
crimes
the
and stuff.
prisoners, man. Like,
But then you look at the Russian prisons where they had like a cannibal
Big
there.
black bag in your head.
Yeah.
And you don't know outside your cell.
You're,
And someone else-
you're in the
yeah.
stress position, man, with those dogs on your heels walking around everywhere. Like,
That's right. If
Fuck
you're not in
that.
your cell, you are bagged, tagged, and they have dogs on you, and you are getting ripped, like you said, and carried around in stress positions. They don't fuck around.
no,
You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
found it interesting. Like,
You say you
when
vote
they-
for who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when
Yeah.
the warden was talking about it, like, because, you know, it shows them going through there, and then they said, why do you do this? And he went, because then they don't know the layout of the prison.
Yep.
Which,
yeah,
you know,
Zero tolerance.
but it's extremely logical. You sort of go, yeah, okay. But then they talk about the crimes, you know, one like I said, one's a cannibal, mass murderers, and those sorts of things. You're like, the fucking worst of the worst. That's
But
why
they
they're
had
here.
the Russians. They've got some crazy nuts. They've got those. Who's that guy? Is like two guys, one hammer, and all that. Like they've got those crazy. Oh, I
Yeah.
never watched the internet, kids. Stay away from the internet, kids. I've got lost childhood from those crazy videos
Two
and
girls,
cartel
one cup.
videos. Oh man, that's at least that's like, you know, not someone dying.
Yeah.
Maybe someone dying inside and not being able to. Those are famous chicks. But yeah, man, fuck
yeah,
those
that
prisons.
hammer thing's brutal, man.
Yeah, man, that poor cyclist cunt, man. But anyway, look,
Heavy stuff.
Don't
Anyway,
look at
while
it.
we're
Don't
while
look-
we're
don't
talking
look
about
at
prisons,
that.
I suppose we've got to talk about
shit.
Dave just recently getting out of his second bout of Facebook prison.
oh shit, I was like, what do you mean? Like I was in prison. Yeah, I got
So
out.
for
of it. I
anyone
got
that
out of it,
doesn't,
I'm free.
we weren't able to use the Facebook, and we're putting it down to the fact that
It
Dave was
has to be.
banned.
It has to be
Dave was
because as soon as I got off me thing, I was like, oh, Facebook's working.
Yeah.
It has to be.
So
Has
if you've been trying to get
I don't
some
use
info,
the fucking thing.
man,
Fuck Facebook.
I try and look
man.
at it. I'm like, I
Fuck
don't even know what
Facebook.
half the shit is anymore.
yeah.
It's
Look,
good
if
for
you've been trying to get
birthdays.
some
Fuck
information out of
Facebook.
us,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why we haven't been
The
posting.
metaverse. Yeah, we're back now anyway, because the thing
Back
was
on
we at the start we were getting our most traffic through Facebook, if we remember.
Yeah.
Yes, so fucking we'll get back on that facey cunts. And yeah, hells yeah.
Man, these tins are going down real easy today.
Nice,
it's,
brother.
it's weather forward,
Just
isn't it?
quietly.
Tell you what, I
Yeah.
mowed out the back today I bought a brand new ride-on mower, and it was that fucking warm. I think I put about 3 or 4 away. It was just hot. Just mowing.
I should have mowed today, but instead I just spun records.
I
Yeah.
mowed on Saturday
Right.
morning.
Actually-
Hixie caught me. He
actually-
rolled up on me
I
and caught me
know,
with
I
me
saw
little
the
electric
Snapchat.
lawnmower.
Yeah,
I have my lawnmower is powered by the same battery that I power my electric drill with.
Yeah,
It's a 18-volt battery, I think.
Yeah, like a Ryobi.
Fucking
one.
works, man. I've only got a little lawn, guys.
Wait, do you
You
know
know, a
what?
little landing strip there.
I really want to build a cabin.
That was
Let's
fucking
do it.
random.
Let's
Well, I mean,
do it.
the-
Let's build one, Vinno.
Let's build one
property.
at Bendermere.
We're gonna build it on Vincent
right.
Vinno's property and have a fireside by it.
Can we please?
Can we please,
Let's speak to
please,
Rowan.
Vinno? Can we build
Speak
a
to
cabin?
Rowan.
I legitimately am. I want to build
Please,
a cabin,
Vinno.
bro.
Are
I'll
you going to
build
do
it.
it? Are you going to do it like traditionally using just hand tools?
I would love to.
Hmm?
Absolutely love to.
I would
Like,
love
you mean a saw? Like a fucking saw?
hand saw. Yeah.
Like a,
Yeah.
you know what? All right, I'm down for that.
Like
we
to
gotta
have the two-handled blades that you bark the fucking logs
Yeah,
with and
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, you can
I
do
would
that.
love to do that, man.
I'll do it. Fuck yeah.
Dave's like, fuck this, man.
Can I bring my oscillator? Can I bring my oscillator multi-tool?
I'll bring my Lanta to stop me heartburn, but
Oh man,
I'll bring
we'll
the
get there.
tins.
And we're not going to bring lighters or anything, obviously. We're just going to get some flint together. We need to light a smoke. Although none of us smoke now, do we?
I have quite the fire lighting knowledge.
I like it. We'll need that for the fireside.
Hear that, everybody? It's an arson.
Arson over here. But out here, you'd be taking the word of a drunk.
To be honest, I've been a pirate my whole life. I loved fire as a kid. You can ask my parents, man.
Man, that's what it's one of the saying. If you can't be a firefighter without being a fucking arson,
Exactly.
or a firebug.
One of our fans, one of the Fireside Yarns fans, was a fan of fire growing up. So
Also,
Colin burnt our house down.
Completely off topic.
Hey, whoa, hang
I'll-
on. I want to hear this. Colin just burnt a house down. Oh, he
He
did.
burnt our house down in the 90s when he was a kid in Ireland.
Did he really?
Yeah, he burnt it down. But yeah,
Why is
Anyway,
he not on the fireside? Because
just
that
love
is
how
the ultimate
casual-
fireside.
he
Casual
burnt it
that
down.
was.
All my toys were gone because I was staying over in my uncle's house at the time, and they made me stay over another night, and I was like, "That's weird, whatever." And then when I came home, I met at my nanny's house, and all my family was there, and they looked at me when I came in the door, and my dad was like, "Look, we need to have a chat." And he came in, and he's like, "Colin burnt the house down."
Is this why he used to bash him all the time?
Wow.
Just for that
Yeah,
revenge?
fuck yeah. It was probably brain damage or something. But he burnt the house down. And I remember I was like, my toys, where are they? Like, they're gone. I'm like, oh,
Go on.
my room, gone. And then, but out of it, we ended up getting
How?
insurance.
I need to know how.
He lit a fire under my parents' bed.
Really?
Yes.
What?
Just
A twisted fire starter. And now a twisted fire cider. God bless him.
I'm the fight.
And my mum will tell the story. She'll be like, and all the Easter eggs were melted. And my wedding dress was destroyed. But none of that matters now.
Can you please get your mum on at some point to tell us the story?
We should do we should let our girls take over Fireside Yarns for an episode called the Fireside Sirens. And they can all be sitting in our chairs and do an episode. We could produce it. And maybe mums too.
That
I
is
would be in on
dangerous.
that.
That could
But
be
it
a
would
bit of
funny.
fun.
It would be funny.
It could be funny to tell little stories about us and our little willies. You know?
Yeah, my willy's tiny, bro. It's-
They
Yeah, I don't
they
even
get
have
half
one.
an hour.
I use
in
my
after
finger.
shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thumb,
softies.
sorry.
Just thumbing in softies.
It's a big thumb, you know. I haven't got it. That's what Jimmy Carr says. I haven't got a big dick, but it smells like one.
I love Jimmy Carr. Man.
Oh, man,
man.
Jimmy Carr's the shit,
He's the
man.
one-line king.
Man, yeah, he is. And then fuck heckling Jimmy Carr.
Yeah, man.
Oh, bro.
He's
I
got
would
some of the
never
best.
hate Jimmy
Yeah.
Carr, man.
I'd never sit in the front. I'd like that. Like, you know, he's one of those guys, and he's old school comedian. Snap, but at the same time, he shocks the shit out of you. He's a great host. Jimmy Carr's like
Such
one of
a
my favorite
witty
dudes.
dude, man.
Yeah,
He's super weird.
yeah. He's a legend.
I like that.
Yeah.
What was that show that he? Yeah, 10 cats. 10
8
cats.
out of
that's-
10 cats.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's a show by itself, but my favourite one is the countdown one they do.
yeah,
When
yeah.
they do the countdown, yeah, it's like them doing their own version of countdown. Fuck, I love it.
Yeah, man. He's fucking great on that. The way he just fucking burns the guests and fucking anyone that goes on that show. Awesome.
To be honest, I
Madman.
think like probably my favorite kind of comedy is just roasting people.
Fuck yeah. Well, the
It's
roasts.
the best.
So Reese is the actual bully of Fireside. That's
No, he likes to look at.
Oh, I enjoy
It's like how you can like a horror movie but not be a serial killer.
That's right.
Whereas you live the dream, Vinno. You're like, oh, I like this because it's like a mirror. It's like a mirror.
Wait,
Oh, he's like me.
If people that liked horror movies were actually serial killers, I'm asking you guys.
You'd all
for
be
help.
fucked.
Yeah, Hannah loves
you,
him, doesn't
You're
she?
living
I'm
with
go-
like
I'm
a
gonna
macabre maiden. Yeah. Hey, man.
is that her
That's
So my
behind you?
missus, she loves. My missus collects clowns, lads.
Oh no.
There's clowns in around my house. Like this one's alright because you're like, oh, the Batman. But there's clowns, dude.
Yeah, there's
Old
some
clowns.
weird clown dolls, man. It's the
Man,
dolls that fucking get
ancient
me.
ones. And we visit fucking when we went to Vegas in Nevada, we visited the Clown Motel. You know, the fucking clown motel, and it's right beside a fucking what you call it, a plague fucking graveyard, and you can go in the graveyard. So this is an old plague graveyard, and it's old, man, and it's red dusty fucking Nevada everywhere. It's in Tonopah, a little town in Nevada. You've got to go, man. It's fucking creepy as shit. But yeah, man, it's pretty scary.
I will.
Do it, man. Do it, and be like, I want to share the fear. Just like there's two types of people, right?
That fear very differently.
I gotta face it. So it's like, you know how now you guys are post truth cool runnings. You can also be post, like, your life won't move. Your life, say, if I'm hitting the edge of the screen,
my life hasn't changed.
Your life will only
since
hit
learning.
that wall until you know the truth, and then you can truly go.
I actually enjoy cool runnings so much more knowing that you hate it.
Yeah, because there's nothing to worry about. You don't have to care about what happens to the characters now, because they're nobody. It's like, look at them having fun.
Unnecessary.
It's like Pokemon. It's Pokemon.
You know what? That's the true bully coming out in you.
I even like it more now that it's wrong.
That's right. He enjoys your suffering. That's the ultimate.
I just think it is fucking hilarious because he just. I've never seen Dave. There's a couple of things, like you mentioned, Conor McGregor in a better
time.
Yeah. You mentioned Conor McGregor in a bad light, and he'll like a fucking switch flips in this man's head. But then when you mentioned Cool Runnings, and I saw that shit, that was hilarious for me. Like,
did he just go into fast forward for you, Dave?
He went really slow, and then he went.
Yeah, that was.
I think he's all right now.
I think he's paused, and I've probably I'm not going to edit that out because that's so much better. That's not.
No. You don't need to edit that out. But like, no. But here it is, Vinno. It's not Conor McGregor. It's not Conor McGregor, and it's not Cool Runnings even. I'm just one of these guys. I like the truth. You know, I like, it's just the truth, you know. Like, heaps of people love lies. I know. I'm one of those guys. Oh, Dave doesn't like all the lies. But, silly Dave. But that's all it is. It's not even Conor. Great fighter. Nice fella, really. Not really that fussed about him. Double champ. But, double champ can't give him his praise. But it's the truth. It's the truth.
Respect where respect is due.
That's what I'm talking about. And you know what? There were 4 Jamaican bobsledders. What are the names?
Listen, I'm going to put this to you.
Ooh. But I know these Disney characters, mate. That's not world knowledge, mate.
If it wasn't for Cool Runnings, would you even know that Jamaica had a bobsled team?
Yeah, the year I was born, the worst bobsled team in the history of the Winter Olympics.
You wouldn't have known unless you watched Cool Runnings.
Probably shouldn't know. I don't know who the worst fighter ever was either. I watch MMA to see who the. You know what I mean?
That was, either way.
Who's the bobsled champion now?
I don't know who the bobsled champion is. I don't follow.
We only know the fake ones. Maybe I would know the real ones.
But they weren't even in the movies. They weren't champions.
Maybe if I knew the real. Maybe if I knew their real names, I wouldn't be calling them. Oh yeah, Darius Bannett and Sanka and Yul Brenner and Junior. You know, and whose father was in Baxter and Cohen. Yeah, I remember all that, you know. Maybe I'd know the real names if they didn't fucking Irv Blitzer coach. You know what I mean? I love that movie, but yeah, just so you know, never happened. It's all fake. Your dreams are dusted. But here, look, let's move on. I didn't bring it up. Again, I'm not bringing it up. If people, wants to keep...
The first time you kind of...
Oh, no, I had to bring it up because there was vitriol. People were going, oh, why don't you like Cool Runnings? And I'm like, because, you know, it's a lie. You might like being lied to. Santa Claus motherfuckers.
I went to say before because we started talking about Colin. I want to give a shout out to Colin because he picked up on my Shawshank Redemption reference from like, it might have even been my first episode.
What did you say? What was it again? I remember that. Something. I don't.
It truly was a Shawshank Redemption.
Because that's not a Shawshank reference. That's like a Family Guy reference or something.
No, it's The Last Man on Earth. And I watched that.
I've never seen it. No.
Yeah.
He posted a clip in the Discord the other day, and I was like, "This is the best." Yeah. But I will truly. Oh yeah, shout out to you, Colin, because such a good show.
Shout out to the arson.
Yeah. I'll cheers to the arson.
Who needs a house?
To the arson.
Who needs a house? Could have killed me mother. There you go.
Could have. But it truly was a Shawshank Redemption.
He definitely is a Michael J. Fox looking motherfucker.
Colin is a reference known motherfucker. Like Colin's someone who's got one of those memories. He'll watch a movie and he'll just know every quote in it. You know what I mean? Like
I feel like
he's really one of those
Giles
guys.
Thing.
It could be. Well, I forget everything. I didn't even know I kicked my phone out of the school.
You forget everything.
Man,
we've talked about things tonight, and you knew the names of the people.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that's because I loved Cool Runnings. I'm not someone. I loved it.
Cool Runnings.
But that's what it was. The names of fucking you, Brenner, Sanka, Dirty Spanner. I loved it,
dude. I think.
He's got photographic memory when it comes to fucking
pop culture, man. Your pop culture knowledge and your music knowledge is, and even actually your political knowledge is second to none. It's
all stuff that doesn't help you in the real world.
It blows my mind, dude. Like, I just sit here and go, how does he fucking remember this shit? Like,
I can't remember fucking dates or people's names and shit like that. Like,
I've got this weird thing when it comes to like my own life. Like, I can remember years and dates. Like, that's
but you remember songs and albums and shit like that, man. Like, you're a bit of a freak in that aspect because you can remember.
Yeah, I don't know dates. Time's fucked for me. Like, I always fuck up when I even moved here, which is a huge part of my life, right? But I'll be like, was it 2002 or 2003 or 2004? Like, I'll think like that. But
see, I'm weird.
A different type of memory.
Dates, man.
Yeah.
I can remember
phone
dates.
numbers.
Oh, I'm fucking shocking with them, man.
Phone numbers not so much now, but like
faces. Like, when I start working somewhere, I'll think 3 people are the same guy for 2 months. I thought Frank Faulkner and Sean Hicks were the same person. Not even joking. I remember being shocked when they weren't. You know,
like, even when they were standing next to each other, he thought they were the same.
I was
person.
like, oh yeah, twins. You know,
it just, man, it blows my mind. Like, when it doesn't seem to matter what we're talking about. You remember names, specific things, and I'm just like, you're making me look a little bit dumb right now.
You make me feel so unprepared.
Yeah, fully. Like, I mean, tonight there was nothing prepared for tonight. We're just here, we're talking shit, and straight up, like, every subject we talk about, Dave's got something. Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
I always have something to say.
Hey, admittedly, he has drawn most of it back to his hatred for Cool Runnings, but
it's a betrayal. I was betrayed by Cool Runnings. I was lied to. Here, I'm the fucking victim here. You know what I mean? One day maybe I'll be a survivor, but it still fucking hurts. Have some fucking, you know, look at me. I'm fucking opening my heart here. I've been lied to by fucking an industry. You know
what, Dave? I'm here for you, mate.
You know what? I'd like a little bit of support. I'd like a bit of you goes, you know what, Dave? I never knew that. You really mean John Cantor? Like, what? It was a bit needless making him some guy who got fat and cheated and did all this stuff. Wow. No, but all I get is, oh man, thank you. It's only Vinno, is it? That's like, you respect Disney.
I mean, that's
I don't respect Disney, but I just think that's fucking hilarious.
Disney's cool. I like Disney. They make a great movie. Like, they do. Like, I love Disney. Disney's the shit.
How do you guys feel about Star Wars since Disney took over, though?
I feel, people complaining about Star Wars long before Disney came over. People called the prequels garbage.
Yeah.
They, like,
you're always going to have
they're like, George Lucas
have
raped
some
Star Wars.
Man. I mean,
look, I grew up on Star Wars. Wars. That's my childhood, you know.
Rogue One was
and even, you know, Phantom Menace and all those, the post 2000s or whenever it was that they came out. I didn't watch them like I watched the originals.
I think the expectation was way too high for them, and you had those people that, like I said, were gatekeeping it. You know, there'd been a lot of time passed from the originals coming out to the new ones coming out, and a different generation, different, you know, expectations around it, and they're probably a little bit disappointed, so they shat on it. But look, I don't think the last 3 they've done a bad job. I thought they were pretty good. You know, like,
actually,
I liked Force Awakens. I liked Force Awakens. I liked Rogue One. I think Rogue One's the best Star Wars movie they made in a long fucking time.
I love the new series they're doing, like the Mandalorian, Obi-Wan series.
Oh man, I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait to see fucking Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan from the years that he dropped off Anakin on Tatooine, and he's kind of there doing his thing. I wonder if he gets called back to stuff, and it's going to be fucking fantastic. There's so much there that they kind of did in the books, which are kind of retconned now. But they've so much material they can pull from.
They're even doing the Boba Fett series as well, you know.
That'd be good too.
Huge. So to answer your question, I don't think Disney has had an impact in a negative way or in any way really, apart from the fact that they've funded it. I think you needed a big company like that to take over it to do it justice. If you had
they bought Lucasfilm, didn't they?
Yeah.
All of that.
But if you,
I definitely feel like I'll thank Baby Yoda for all the memes. Definitely.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think they did good. I think they did good. And here, if you were a kid, lads, watching their movies, that's what I mean. That's what it's about. It's not for us anymore, lads.
No.
Like, I get that it is and it isn't, but even when you look back at A New Hope, which is my favourite Star Wars movie, I know that's a weird one to... Oh, really?
No, I'm with you.
Okay, cool. Because usually it's
definitely
between Empire and Return of the Jedi people. But I love A New Hope.
Mine's between New Hope and Return of the Jedi.
See,
that's a good one.
Empire was always kind of my least favorite.
Yeah,
I liked Phantom and Return of the Sith as well. I thought Return of the Sith was fucking like. There's parts in that. There's moments. Obviously, there's horrible moments in it too. That are just like, oh, why did you fucking? But there's also fantastic moments.
I remember
fantastic visuals and the lightsaber fights in those prequels bumped it up heaps from the original movies. Yeah, and like I remember when Phantom Menace came out, man. Yeah, and Darth Maul, you first saw him, and they had all the toys and stuff coming out. Like I used to have the Qui-Gon.
Everyone frothed the double lightsaber,
didn't they?
When in the ad when it went. It's like, two. And
was it Pizza Hut that had the cups?
Yeah,
and everything.
Everyone had his cups. Everyone was getting in on that shit. Right, that Star Wars stuff. I've even got an old. It's still in its box. A little Darth Maul figurine. I love Darth Maul when he came out. Yeah, but Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, fucking Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon. It was actually like I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was the perfect actor to take over for Alec Guinness. But also Liam Neeson. It's always good to just pepper a bit of Liam Neeson on your movie. Make him train Batman. Make him God. You know, you can make him save the Jews. You know, they made him save the Irish in fucking Michael Collins as well. He's just a fucking
Rob
man.
Roy. He was a fucking Scottish.
He saved the Scots too.
Yeah, man. That was the first movie I saw with.
That's where you see his dick in that movie. Everybody, go shout out to Liam Neeson's dick. You know, dick. It's fucking. I swear, it's like a Coke bottle flying around. I'm telling you now, take a swig.
That was the real Phantom Menace.
Oh man, the men ass would be wanting that. But no.
Oh,
Like Qui-Gon Jinn was fun. But here, look, I've got a little theory. I think Jedis are scum.
I do too.
Yeah,
they're religious extremists. Nobody can love. I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. That's a bit weird, mate. Anakin, he's too old. Oh, all right, he's too old to hang with us. That was the whole thing originally. Remember when they're like, I think this guy's got lots of force. There's heaps of midichlorians. And Obi-Wan's like, oh, he's pretty old. Yeah, look, it's a bit weird. There's lots of weird stuff in there. And ultimately, I think someone to bring balance would have been the best thing, right? Because between good and evil, the good. Are you out of Veebs, are you? The Victoria Beckhams.
Oh, he's still going.
Well, here, look. Before we go, there was something I wanted to talk to you about because it's a bit of a on Twitch politics and fucking
Twitch
Twitter
politics
and Twitter politics also. But that whole generation of political talking points is a big thing at the moment about white racial slurs, about whether they're okay or not. And have you name a couple of white racial slurs, everybody? What can you think of? Vinno? Cracker, honky. What else we got? I have some here.
I don't know.
Because I looked some up and I found some funny ones.
I'm privileged, mate. I don't really understand.
Well, look, we could argue about whether they're okay to say, which obviously, you should never have a racial slur against anyone, okay? But I don't think I would be too upset
I'm not offended by someone.
Nah, I think that's the privilege. I think you're right. I think it's the privilege of a law. It's like, oh, that's creative.
That's right.
But listen to this, all right?
Uyghur.
Yeah, but that's more about a white person who's trying to be black, right?
Dude.
Yeah,
100% I said W.
but it still is a racial slur for a white person.
Wankster.
Wankster, that's a 50 Cent. They all started that, didn't they?
Yeah.
But here, 50 Cent would call Ja a wankster as well. I think it's someone
He's
who's
a fucking
All
wanker.
right. So let's hear some of yours.
snow possum,
Snow possum. What?
ice monkey, chalk demons,
They live in Raymond Terrace, right? Ice monkeys.
Mayo sapiens, Mayo
Mayos.
monkeys,
What?
He had
Yeah,
so
oh,
much
man,
fun
it's so
looking
funny.
these up, man.
cauliflower crustaceans, clear folk, snow termites, vanilla villain.
Oh, I like that one.
I like this one, paper. Paper. Oh man, so what about funny cave dwellers?
I don't take offense to any of them.
No man, Ku Klux Kleenex, whatever. You know, garlic goblins.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't.
Oh man, I want us to embrace him. I want to be like, what up, my fucking yeast beast? You know, you know what I mean? Look at, oh man,
Space.
oh man, it's so funny.
fucking
Cum stain colonizers, sun poisoned, rice water,
Poisoned.
frost fiend, milk minions.
I don't. Man, I literally find no offense.
They're awesome.
any of
Yeah,
those
they're
things.
awesome. Yeah, chalk child. Oh, that's a bit. I love it. Like, but like, what can they call us? Like, you know, like I don't think we would be upset.
That's fucking too funny.
But yeah, I just thought that would be funny. But obviously, these don't offend us, right?
No.
So it just goes to show, like,
But saying
because
that,
you could think of a lot of funny African American or black or Asian ones that would be you could kind of find alliteration with there and all. That would be offensive. But to us, do you think it's a power dynamic or a
I
class
think it's
dynamic?
just,
Or
I
what do
think
you
it's
think?
simply the fact that those names haven't been used in a derogatory term in the sense that you've been oppressed. I think that's it.
Yeah.
You know, the
Sounds like something an ice monkey would say.
But you know, as we all
Yeast
know,
beast.
the black
A
slurs,
privileged one.
the black slurs were
sapiens.
used in America by, you know,
Yeah.
slave
There's
owners.
historical significance
Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
eh?
So, and by black people using those words, they're taking that power back, and that's why it's powerful to them to say it. And it's, you know, we just don't say it because that's their word now. You know, like
Now, but do you think these words don't have power, right? They don't.
No.
They don't have a power, but they do. They kind of have. We could still take them back, right? We could still use them. What up, my snow possum?
so
There's no ring to it.
that's-
No, there's no ring
that
to
sounds
it.
more porno than anything.
Cornstarch Crusaders and enemies
Sounds
of
like
the
it's-
sun.
That sounds like a TV series.
I still think garlic goblins, man, is one of your favourites.
That'd be kind of like me calling Vinno mortgage eyes.
Oh,
Mortgage eyes
Mortgage eyes.
or Blinky Bill.
No, mortgage eyes.
Why? Because they're looking everywhere.
No, because one's fixed and one's variable.
Fucking let's don't even start on the personal appearances counts.
Hey.
I'm trying my hardest not to fucking fall into that demographic of being a bully because the moment I say something,
Oh, you should be trying your hardest to claw out of it.
that's what I'm
Falling
saying.
into
I'm,
that
so
demographic.
I'm
that
just
demographic.
Not, I'm
Look,
just
you're
not
already
abusing.
insulting bullies now. The king of bullies. King of bullying bullies over here.
Oh, I don't give
Uncle
a fuck.
Bully as fun.
Oh, shit. Uncle fucking bully.
No.
Oh, God.
fuck.
You're the bad guy this episode.
No.
Do you know who Uncle Bully is? Vinno?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, off.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I'm trying to
That's
think.
Stories.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
man,
right.
have you seen
Yeah.
the second one of that?
No, I've only seen the first
What
one.
Becomes of the Broken Hearted is the sequel to Once More Warriors, where Jake the Musk gets out of jail.
Yeah, right.
I did not even know that.
His son dies, part of like, I think, you know, like a motorcycle, a New Zealand bikie gang, you know, with the tats on them. His son joins that. So I think at the end of the first one he did. I don't know if it's I think they might have made one up for the movie because it's not a real story, so you can do that. Unlike Cool Runnings, who did it to a true story. But it's okay. It's not Once Were Warriors, but it's okay. Once Were Warriors is fucking.
It was an intense.
I know we got to wrap
man.
up soon, but that movie, we should do a movies like fucking like movies that fucking touched you. That's another one. Maybe we could change the terminology. That top 10 movies might be better. Yeah,
same thing. We could.
Yeah, movies.
Uncle Tony fucking touched you. Fucking stop. All right. Once we get to the end.
Look, I'm going to cut you off because there is one thing that I do want to bring up before we wrap it up. Is we have 1 day of restrictions left.
I'll use our New South Wales for matches.
Yeah.
Queensland opens its borders today.
Yeah,
already they opened their borders.
It's when's that
How come
start?
we don't need American intervention? They must have intervened somewhere. They probably did it behind the scenes.
No, we didn't have enough oil.
You know what? It was all those protesters. Thank you, all those protesters. If not for them, we would have been in FEMA camps, like they said.
They can get
funny
the,
how
they
that
can get
didn't
the fuck
happen.
out. They can get the
They
fuck
did
out.
it.
Yeah,
yeah, they can get the fuck out. They can get the fuck out, and they did. Ultimately, we did it without them. Good job, Australia. We fucking did it.
Yeah.
Big fucking.
Wait, I looked today.
I'm not even joking.
I
Good
looked
work.
today because I wasn't sure what the easing restrictions were supposed to be. I was like, because man, I am fed up with fucking masks, dude.
Well, you're
I
a
know
beardy,
it's
man.
for the greater
Big
good,
beardies are
but
bad.
I am fucking sick of the cunts.
No one likes masks, man, except for like thieves and stuff. And people with fucked up faces, ugly
In
people.
regards to mental health, I've been wearing a mask for years, but physically, I'm sick of the fucking things.
Yeah,
right?
they're not fun.
I've had a gutful. I can't even fucking open shit on my phone. Gotta fucking pull the cunt down.
What?
No, it's got
your
facial
face-
recognition.
You can't watch a movie without reading the subtitles. You can't look at your phone without opening your mouth.
Listen
What's
to
going on, Reese? There's a deeper problem that's not COVID.
Oi, I'm a deep
There's a,
man.
hang on, there's a deeper
When you're
problem
listening
there,
to
and
music,
I don't
you-
think Cool Runnings is
I'm
half
not-
of the problem.
Oi, I'm a
Cool
deep
Run- no,
man.
he doesn't have that problem anymore. Now he knows. He's post Cool Runnings truth.
I know.
Vinno's hanging
I know
on
the
to the
truth.
I am, mate. I'm just, fuck that. That'll do me. That's fucking fantastic.
It's been doing us all for years. We've been fucked. Okay? Us, survivors.
Oi,
I
and
suppose
I'll
you
tell
think
what,
101 Dalmatians is a true story too.
COVID.
when
fucking
it comes to fucking, deep is I'm not a deep man, but I'm
Nah,
a deep man.
I can't be, but I try to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Reese, what were you saying about you just
look,
keen for the masks to go?
Yeah, get rid of them.
I'm keen for masks to go. I'm looking forward to just somewhat normal life again.
Go to pubs, go to the fucking...
Well, the only places you have to check in now are the fun places after Wednesday. It's pubs, clubs.
check in, whatever. Get in there, though, you know?
But as far as I can see, masks only have to be worn on public transport, in hospitals, aged care. That's about it.
Yep.
Well, at our work, we had
limits
weird
on-
restrictions, so I'm glad to see them change. We like people in
Yeah.
offices were allowed, if they were double vaxxed, take their masks off, but people on the factory floor weren't allowed. And it's like, well, they've more space there.
Yeah.
What's the point in letting? Apparently, the office environment and all. Yeah, look, blanket rules didn't work. It kept us safe. Ultimately, it was annoying. Hopefully, we can, maneuver out of it now. That's the plan.
I'd like
I'm
to
just
say,
sick of my beard looking like this all the time. Like it's,
I like the beard hooks that now. I think it kind of like
it
it
looks
makes
like
you
a
more
shovel or
cartoon
some
wizard.
shit. Like
Yeah,
I'm sick of it.
you can get
Yeah.
those beard masks though.
I
They
know.
kind of look like that, like berserker.
all the
or-
masks I have, I got for free. I didn't pay for them.
but you get a
Yeah.
winch.
Free ride communist over here.
That's right. It's our mask.
I'd like
Yeah.
to think that we've learned something from the pandemic, but I just don't think we have.
I do.
Um,
I
In
think
some ways we have. In a lot of ways, I think.
it's scary.
Yeah.
If something
I went to the
fucking more
dentist this
serious
morning.
comes along, we might be fucked.
Right. I went to the dentist this morning and I was talking to the girl behind the counter.
We
Said, Are you excited? Like, are you looking forward to potentially not having to wear a mask anymore? As of Wednesday, and she was like, genuinely, I'm for masks. She was like, I think I'm still going to wear it because the dentist that I go to, they share with the doctor's surgery, right?
Yeah.
So there's obviously people go to the doctors when they're sick, So she's like, I think I'm still going to wear my mask. And she's like, and one thing that I've noticed since all this has happened is like a lot of the elderly people are the ones that are more, for wearing the mask. They're very cautious.
Vaccines. They hit their targets before everyone else. Big ups to the fucking elderly.
Yeah,
they did their shit. Yeah.
But I mean, what we're like 94%. They said that we go back to normal after the 15th of December, or 95%. We're all but there.
Fuck yeah, we're on the track.
Regardless of the new variant.
We'll hit that when it comes, though. We're ready. We've got the infrastructure in place. We can figure it out. I think we'll be right with it.
Well, I found that interesting. I didn't know this. I had seen them wearing masks out in public before. It's part of Japanese culture.
Yeah, Asians were all ready for that shit.
If they feel sick, they put a mask on anyway, and it's not
common courtesy.
It's them.
It's a respect thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, which is really, really interesting. That I think everybody.
We don't give a fuck about anyone though.
Well, the flu is less infectious than COVID, so wearing masks and socially distancing really put a fucking kick into the nuts of the flu. See, we were trying to hit COVID like as much as we can with all these different measures, and we did well. We were in Australia in particular, and then with our vaccination rate. But
the flu doesn't exist anymore.
Well, it does, but it's nearly it's so decimated because wearing a mask, because it's not as infectious as COVID. Wearing a mask is more effective when it comes to the flu, and socially distance and all these, and washing your hands and all the things we were doing at the start really did fucking help us out on the flu side of things too, because flu killed fucking old people too. The flu was and people with bad immune systems and underlying illnesses as well. So it really these simple things do work. Obviously, we've got the vaccination now as well, so we can curb it. And the different variants will come, but with boosters, we'll be able to just fucking once a year tap them kind of things and just know how
the flu shot, man. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just have. Obviously, it's a bit.
I think it's kind of weird. Like I do think it's a little weird that for how many years have we had the flu shot? I remember the flu shot when I was in primary school.
Yeah. We get it every year for our workers.
A long time. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I do find it a little weird that we have to prove that we're vaccinated now. Like, I don't know. I think I'm just...
They don't. You won't. It depends. That's an industry-based thing.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that.
But the last 2 weeks, obviously Christmas shopping is the time of year. Man, Christmas shopping has been so fucking painful, dude. Like,
it is every year.
I'm going to the point. It is, but it's now extra painful. Yeah. Like, I went to Charlestown the other day, man. I had to sign in when I got there. And then every single shop front I walked into, proof of vaccination, sign in. And it's just
that's a New South Wales thing, though, as well. Like, because when I'd cross the border to work people there,
as they come in. Do you know what I mean? Why if I walk from this shop to that shop? What? I get it.
Well, they can contact trace.
As fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they contact trace.
You're in Charlestown this time. Fucking go get a test.
But instead of putting the thousands of people that were in Charlestown, they can contact trace, and now less people have to. There's less stress on the. It's all there to really help to help the medical staff not be over fucking at the hands. I get it. It's shit. No one thinks
so shit, dude.
It's good that I think it's a good trial run for one if we get fucking plagued out of it to try and figure out. Okay, at least we know in this amount of time we can get people to wear masks, and this amount of time we can have the stickers on the floor that can separate people, and this, we can keep businesses open, because at the start we didn't know, do we have to shut the fuck down? Like, is there a way for us to safely open? And then we gradually figured it out. So now when there is outbreaks, I do think it will be just easier to slide in and out.
Do you think it's just like a new thing though? Like, why don't I be asked about like fucking polio or measles?
Because we eradicated it with vaccines that were mandated in schools.
100%. But like,
that's a great example of why you do it.
Yeah.
It seems so
we had
weird that
vaccines,
like
we died by our thousands and millions, and
this just shows the ignorance of the people within our society. And I'm talking about the ones that do their own research, that are reading bullshit articles on the internet. I'm all for people having questions and asking questions, right? If they're not sure, ask questions, but don't jump on some bullshit fucking internet site or read some bullshit article or talk in some dumb fucking group chat with people that have no fucking idea. Like, the history there is there to show that vaccines have eradicated some diseases. The scrutiny that this vaccine has been under is the most scrutiny that any vaccine has ever been under.
I think that has a lot to do with the publicity of it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but for people that don't have the qualifications or the education or even know what the fuck they're talking about, to sit there and say, oh, flat out, it's causing all these diseases, all the bullshit that you hear in regards to it.
Isn't that on us? Like, I mean, shouldn't we be educating and sending our adults out educated in a way? Like, I don't think we're putting enough effort into being like, this is how you define what is a reliable source. This is how you can find out what is a biased source.
Look, I think there could be a hell of a lot more work there as far as
from a younger age,
building critical thinking skills and those sorts of things. But
high school to college, but we don't in uni. We do it in primary.
We spoke about the advancements earlier with technology, and I think one of our greatest achievements is the internet. One of our fucking biggest failures is the internet at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of an old saying about fire. Fire can be your best friend or your worst enemy, and the internet is very much the same because there is that much access to crap. There is access to a lot of good information and genuine information, but there is a lot of access to crap as well, and it's very hard to try and distinguish sometimes if you haven't, like Dave was referring to or alluding to there, as far as building skills to differentiate the shit from the actual truth stuff.
There's always been snake oil salespeople. There's always been
the internet has the access to it is at your fingertips now. Whereas before you had to come into contact with those people, you had to be within a group, or you had to meet those people, or it wasn't as easy as what it is now, where you can pick up your phone, and especially with the way that Google works and those sorts of things, where what you're searching.
Bring it together.
Yeah, it's dangerous, and misinformation is dangerous, and we can see that. And with the marches and stuff like that, some of the shit that you just hear people spout, and you just like it makes you scratch your head as to where they've got it from. And a lot of it could be people just trolling, and they're just sort of going, "Oh, let's see who believes this for fun," and next minute, people are fucking following it. Look at QAnon and all that shit.
It's religion level ignorance. It's like it's devoid of fact, blind faith, wide-eyed cultism. And that's. And it goes to show me point, and I think it bolsters me point, that it's not just religion, it's ideology, it's all these things people get wrapped into. It's really meaning. What's the meaning to this whole shit? Because religion was a crack at it, wasn't it? Religion was like a crack at psychology and psychiatry and all that shit. And everyone's now
faith is a strong thing, dude.
Right. Faith and
ignorance though too.
Definitely breeds ignorance, but it's it
also holds us together.
There's
also a faith in my mum and dad, or whatever you want to think of.
Speaking of faith, I mean, next week is going to be a Christmas episode. That's where we're going to, our big holiday. Talking about bringing people together and all those sorts of things. It's going to be, it is. We spoke about it. Yeah, we spoke about it last week.
Speaking of bringing people together,
here we go.
we need to sort the in-person episode.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait. Is
We-
that the
we-
hot?
we
Are we
need-
doing the hot ones for the in-person one?
I think we do.
Well, I got the last dab today.
Man, I was fucking with some. You ask Hixie, all right? We did some. Em does really good hot wings. So she does wings with the hot sauces and she gets them all crispy and they're so fucking hot. We did a garlic reaper on the weekend.
I feel like you and I are going to be good friends.
She could be the chef for it all.
Oh,
But we'll figure it out. I'm down for it. But fuck, it's gonna.
I think it's
gonna be
several-
We need to work out a time to do it.
Yeah.
It's probably if I have to take time off, it's
The
going to have
next
to be
day,
February.
The next day is gonna have to have time off.
Oh, I'm
Do you have a job where you
gonna
need to
wait.
sit down or stand up?
I mean, I sit down a lot. I sit down a lot.
You might
No,
need a donut.
Yeah, you might
Might
need
need a donut.
Actually, those sauces that we had at your place were fucking really
Oi,
nice, man.
So yeah, Friday night I gave Vinno. I let Vinno. We had a garlic reaper sauce.
Nice.
It's hot,
Man,
but it's tasty as shit.
it wasn't though. It was the initial, like when it hit your tongue,
Yeah.
you were like, okay, that's a fucking hot sauce. But
Bit
it
of
didn't
lime
hang
in it.
around, man. Like it didn't ruin
Yeah.
the meal because we threw it on some
No.
steaks and stuff. And you know, when you've had some
Add to it.
sauces, and it just ruins it because it stays
Too
around.
hot.
Yeah.
There will be some that
Oh,
that
yeah.
will. The
Probably.
bomb. And
Dude.
that stab should fuck you. That should be hard in the bomb.
I haven't opened it. I kind of want to wait because I was talking because Jake bought it for me. Shout out to Jake, thank you, bro. This
Get a bit
man,
of KD.
Jake bought me the fucking War of the Worlds record
Good record.
and like the musical edition, and also bought me the Last Dab. It showed up on my doorstep today. I didn't even know it was coming.
What a
I
lord.
just, I walked.
She
I
said.
literally. Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, I need
We
a
got
one in
one.
there.
You
No,
got one.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. I literally took the rubbish out this afternoon, and there was a package at my door. And I was like, "What the fuck's this?" And it was like fragile. And I looked at the label. I'm like, some fucking Victorian chili thing. I'm like, "What the fuck?" I don't remember buying anything from this. Like, opened up Last Dab hot ones, and I'm like, "What?" I messaged Jake. I'm like, "Was this you?" And he's like, "Yeah, bro." And I
What
was
a
like,
lord.
"Fuck, man!" Like,
Good dude.
the record was enough,
Yeah.
like more than enough, bro. Like,
And that's from the. I think you might have even brought the Last Dab in a podcast as well. So I'd say that comes from him fucking listening to you and shit. That's like a thoughtful present.
yeah,
That's not some
man.
stocks of deodorant or anything.
Man, I love Jake. I've got so much time for that dude. He's a fucking legend.
Lord.
man.
yeah.
This is where Davey gets his hot sauce from. Matt's
That's
Hot
right.
Shop.
Matt's Hot Shop. All right.
That's some
okay.
good shit.
Cool.
Chili
I'll
honey.
have a little
The hot
plug.
honey.
Oh,
All right.
chili
The hot
honey.
honey is
Actually,
fucking-
I'll give a shout out to Tariq as well. He sent me a video of this, a link to this profile on Instagram today. And he had a thing about these like habanero mango hot wings, man. I'm going to cook them bad
fruity
boys.
hot. Nice.
Oh, what was his fucking name?
Los Calientes is another one. That's
Oh,
beautiful.
I need-
That's real
yeah,
fruity.
I need to get
Yeah.
that. I need to get the Los Calientes. But this dude's profile that he sent me today, it was fucking Darren the chef,
Good yeah.
Mr. I'm too nice.
Hey.
He
Too
had this
nice
little
with the spice.
Oh, he's nice with the spice, man. He had this video on these fucking habanero
market.
mango hot wings. Oh, they look delicious. I'll send it to you, boys.
I'm actually looking forward to it now. Yeah.
Yeah, the hot ones thing needs to happen. We need to work
Down
out
for
a
it.
date. Vinno, we're going to Canberra.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna do it up in that shed. We're gonna eat some wings. We're gonna talk some shit,
Build a cabin. All that shit.
and then we're going to Benton.
We're
going
gonna
up
build a
north.
cabin.
We're going up
Chisels
north.
and forks. It's gonna be awesome.
Anyways,
I'm fucking keen as
next
shit.
week
Yeah.
we've got Christmas episode.
Christmas is
So
we have
hats
to
on.
just sleigh bells for the background, Vinno.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do.
you're
Fake.
gonna have to
Everyone-
get artistic.
Wait, so everyone needs to bring their favorite hip hop song with sleigh bells in the beat next week.
Oh,
Or song. I think Christmas song. I don't think you should hip hop it.
yeah.
You can
Just
hip
do our
hop.
favorite Christmas song.
Because I've got.
Obviously, my favorite songs would be hip hop.
I think that hip hop Christmas songs might be third or fourth. I don't think a hip hop song will be my top 5 Christmas songs. I'm a Christmas song loving motherfucker. Okay? I'm talking about that Mariah Carey shit, which is pretty good. I'm talking about. Okay, look, we'll talk
All
about.
I
it
want
then.
for Christmas is you, Dave.
Oh,
Fuck it out.
hey, see me coming down your chimney tonight.
That's what she said.
Chimney. All right.
All right, so bring your favorite fucking Christmas song.
Bring your sleigh balls.
Yeah.
What are we doing, Reese?
I'm looking forward to it.
Jingle balls, jingle balls. Anyway,
So good. All right.
This has been a fucking fun episode.
I liked it. I'm happy with it.
I've enjoyed this.
My little garlic
I really
goblet.
have. Yeah, I really, really need to piss.
Well, you better finish us up.
So
On that note,
I will
let us add more liquid.
more liquid, more piss, more fireside yarns.
Looking
Thanks for
forward
joining
to
us
it.
for another week. Shout out to all the boys, all the girls. Thanks for tuning in.
All in between.
Much love.